Boundaries are like invisible lines in our lives. They protect our time, our energy, and our peace of mind. Yet, far too often, people push and poke at those lines. Maybe it's a friend who expects a lot but gives very little, or a co-worker who subtly, or not so subtly, piles their responsibilities onto your plate. Perhaps it's a family member who doesn't respect your personal space, brushing off your needs as if they don't matter. These moments, while small in isolation, can stack up, leaving you feeling drained, overlooked, and unsure of how to stand your ground without causing conflict. For many, setting boundaries can feel uncomfortable, even intimidating. You might think, "But I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings," or "What if I come off as rude or difficult?" Yet boundaries are anything but selfish. They're acts of self-respect and self-protection. They're the quiet yet powerful way of saying, "I value myself enough to decide what I accept from others." Setting boundaries doesn't mean you're building walls or keeping people out. It means you're choosing the life you want and defining how you'll allow others to interact within it. But here's the thing, not everyone will appreciate your boundaries. Some may even try to test them. Boundary testers don't come with a warning label. They don't walk around saying, "I'm about to push you just to see if you'll budge." They might look like the friend who expects your help at the drop of a hat. They might show up as the partner who constantly asks for more than they're willing to give, or the co-worker who assumes you'll always be the one to take on extra work. And while it may feel easier to brush off these behaviors, not addressing them ultimately erodes your peace, your confidence, and your sense of self-respect. This is why learning how to stand firm, even when someone is testing you, is essential. Because without boundaries, it's easy to get swept into other people's priorities, drowning in demands that don't serve you or align with who you are. Over time, ignoring your boundaries can leave you feeling like you're living on someone else's terms, reacting to others instead of living true to your own values. You might have heard the saying, "What you allow is what will continue." This is especially true with boundaries. When someone tests your limits and you let it slide, it's almost like giving them permission to try again. The more you give in, the easier it becomes for others to disregard your needs, viewing your boundaries as something flexible, something they can bend or ignore at will. But here's the powerful truth. You don't need to compromise your values or shrink yourself to keep others comfortable. Your boundaries aren't just suggestions. They're statements of who you are and what you stand for. And when you honor them, you reinforce your worth to yourself and the world. Standing firm with boundaries can transform your life. It's about learning to calmly, clearly, and confidently assert what you need without apologizing for it. When you do, you might feel a sense of strength rise within you, like a weight lifting from your shoulders as you embrace your own value. There's nothing arrogant about protecting your peace. It's one of the most empowering things you can do. In the beginning, you might worry about how others will react. That's natural, but think of it this way. Every time you defend a boundary, you're practicing a powerful form of self-care. You're telling yourself, "I am worth the respect I seek. I am worthy of my own time, my own peace, my own happiness." This isn't about being harsh or distant. It's about being compassionate to yourself. When you take control of your boundaries, something incredible happens. You stop feeling as if you're at the mercy of everyone else's demands. You stop being weighed down by guilt or fear of disappointing others. Instead, you start living with a deeper sense of inner peace and clarity. The way you see yourself changes too. You see someone strong, someone capable of standing up for their own needs. And that kind of inner transformation is what attracts genuine respect from others, not the grudging compliance that comes from fear or guilt. Picture this. Those who try to push your boundaries start noticing that you're not as easy to sway anymore. They sense that there's a line, a strength, a groundedness within you. With each small decision to hold your ground, you teach others how to treat you. You don't need grand gestures or confrontations, just a steady, calm assurance that says, "I respect myself, and I expect you to do the same." This quiet power doesn't make you less compassionate or understanding. Instead, it allows you to be kind without sacrificing your own needs, to give without feeling depleted. So let's make one thing clear right from the start. You have the right to protect your peace. You have the right to say no without an elaborate explanation. You have the right to decide who has access to your time, your energy, your space. Just as you would lock the door to your home, setting boundaries is a way of locking the door to unwanted intrusions on your life. It's not about shutting people out, it's about choosing who and what you let in. And if there's any doubt, let's dispel it now. Boundaries are a sign of strength, not weakness. People who test boundaries often do so because they're used to getting their way, either through persistence, manipulation, or simply because they don't expect you to stand up to them. But by standing firm, you're breaking the cycle. You're showing them that you value yourself, and over time, they'll start to value you differently too. In this guide, we're going to explore everything you need to know to stay in control when someone tests your limits. You'll learn to recognize the subtle tactics people use, ways to keep calm and detached, and techniques for asserting yourself with confidence. Together, we'll dismantle the myths that say setting boundaries is selfish or rude. Instead, you'll see just how liberating it is to know where you stand, and to let others know it too. Imagine a life where you're no longer bending to meet everyone else's needs while neglecting your own. A life where you wake up feeling in control, grounded, and ready to face the day because you're no longer weighed down by others' expectations. That's what strong boundaries can offer. And as you begin this journey, remember, the only approval you truly need is your own. This isn't about shutting others out or building walls. It's about making a choice to live with clarity, to protect your energy, to honor your time. You deserve to live a life that feels fulfilling and authentic to you, a life where you're surrounded by people who respect you for who you are, not for how much you're willing to give up. With every step you take in this journey, remind yourself of this. Standing up for yourself is not just an act of protection, it's an act of self-love. In the end, boundaries are about living fully, freely, and unapologetically. They are a promise to yourself, a reminder that you are worth every ounce of respect you ask for. So let's dive in and unlock the strength, clarity, and resilience you already possess. The journey to reclaiming your peace and power starts right here. Now that the stage is set, let's dive right into the heart of boundary setting. One of the most empowering steps in this journey is learning to recognize the signs when someone starts testing your limits. It's about developing a sharp awareness of those subtle, seemingly innocent behaviors that signal someone may be pushing you a little too far. The earlier you spot these red flags, the easier it becomes to stand your ground and protect your peace. Here, we'll explore in detail how to identify these signals and what they reveal about someone's intentions. This awareness isn't just about prevention. It's about mastering the art of seeing through subtle actions and behaviors, so you're always prepared to respond wisely and firmly. The first step in recognizing boundary testing is understanding that it often appears as subtle, even seemingly friendly behavior. People who test boundaries rarely start with something obvious or aggressive. They may use charm, humor, or light-hearted teasing to slip under your radar. You might notice a casual comment about how they knew you wouldn't mind doing them a small favor, or they could give you a knowing look when they make a joke at your expense. These behaviors are rarely direct. They're designed to see if you'll let it slide. Observing how people present themselves and testing your tolerance for these minor transgressions can reveal their expectations and approach. It's a test, a way for them to learn what you'll accept. Boundary testing can also come in the form of persistence. Some people use repetition as a strategy to wear you down, asking the same thing multiple times or bringing it up at different times, hoping you'll eventually give in. They might act as though they've forgotten your initial answer, casually checking in to see if your stance has changed. This persistent pushing is not random. It's intentional. It's designed to challenge your resolve and see if you'll compromise. Recognizing this pattern of behavior is essential because it reveals that they're not taking your boundaries seriously. A strong response early on can prevent further attempts, but more than anything, it's your ability to notice these repetitive nudges that strengthens your boundary-setting skills. Another common sign of boundary testing is the use of guilt or emotional manipulation. Often, people who test boundaries do so by framing their requests in a way that makes you feel responsible for their well-being. They may say things like, "I thought I could count on you," or "I don't know who else to ask." This strategy places an emotional weight on you, making you feel as though saying no would somehow make you a bad friend, colleague, or family member. By noticing phrases that focus on your sense of duty or guilt, you can better identify when someone is attempting to manipulate your empathy for their benefit. Understanding this tactic allows you to detach emotionally, recognizing that their well-being is not your sole responsibility. Boundary testers may also test your limits through humor, especially by making jokes that seem harmless on the surface but are subtly hurtful or disrespectful. This is sometimes referred to as teasing with a hidden agenda. A friend might make a comment that downplays your goals, hinting that they find them unrealistic, but laugh it off as a joke. Or a coworker might make light of your personal boundaries, joking that you're too serious or need to relax. These comments, even if they seem minor, can be their way of testing how much disrespect you'll tolerate under the guise of humor. Recognizing these comments for what they are, attempts to undermine your confidence or values, gives you the insight needed to address them assertively. Some people may test boundaries by presenting themselves as overly helpful or self-sacrificing, making you feel as though you owe them something. They may go out of their way to do things for you, sometimes without asking, then subtly imply that you should reciprocate. While it might appear generous, this behavior can come with strings attached. It can be a way of creating a sense of indebtedness where you feel obliged to return favors or go along with their requests out of gratitude. Identifying this tactic is crucial because it involves recognizing when someone's actions, although outwardly helpful, come with an unspoken expectation that you're bound to repay them in ways you may not be comfortable with. People testing boundaries often use passive-aggressive behavior to make their feelings known without direct confrontation. They might give you the silent treatment, act distant, or make subtle comments implying disappointment or frustration. For example, they might say, "I didn't think you'd do something like that," or "I guess I just expected more from you." These comments are designed to communicate disapproval without openly addressing it, hoping you'll feel pressured to change your behavior to gain their approval. Noticing these tactics allows you to understand that the person is attempting to control your actions through indirect communication, a form of manipulation that relies on making you feel uncomfortable or guilty. A subtle yet powerful sign of boundary testing is when someone disregards your time and commitments. They might frequently drop by without notice, assume you're available whenever they need something, or schedule activities without checking if you're free. This behavior signals that they see your time as something they're entitled to, rather than something you choose to share. Recognizing these actions helps you understand that their disregard for your time is not just inconsiderate, but a clear boundary test. They're looking to see if you'll prioritize their needs over your own plans and obligations, and addressing this early sets the expectation that your time is valuable. Boundary testers sometimes use charm or flattery as a way to ease past your defenses. Compliments or gestures of kindness can be disarming, making you feel more inclined to say yes to their requests. They may praise you for being so generous or imply that you're uniquely capable of helping them in a way others aren't. This tactic plays on your desire to be liked and appreciated, creating a sense of obligation that makes it harder to set limits. By recognizing when compliments are strategically timed, you can distinguish between genuine appreciation and a tactic designed to sway your decision. Boundary testing can also appear as someone acting overly familiar with you, even if your relationship doesn't justify it. They might use personal language, assume intimate knowledge of your life, or make physical gestures like touching your shoulder or leaning in too close. This behavior can create a sense of closeness that pressures you into reciprocating their familiarity, blurring the lines of what you're comfortable with. By recognizing this premature familiarity, you can protect yourself from feeling obligated to extend your boundaries for the sake of maintaining the relationship. This awareness is essential in maintaining clear boundaries, especially in professional or new social situations. In some cases, people may test boundaries by using social or peer pressure to influence your decisions. This might look like them saying, "Everyone else is doing it," or suggesting that you're the only one resisting a particular idea. By framing their request as something popular or widely accepted, they aim to make you feel isolated in your decision to maintain your boundaries. Recognizing this tactic allows you to see through the influence they're trying to exert, reminding you that your boundaries aren't about fitting in or pleasing others. They're about maintaining your own values and comfort. People may also test boundaries by creating a sense of urgency around their requests. They may present their needs as immediate or frame the situation as a one-time favor that requires your immediate response. By making their requests seem time-sensitive, they aim to bypass your normal decision-making process, relying on your desire to be helpful or supportive. Noticing this tactic allows you to take a step back, giving yourself time to assess whether their urgency is genuine or simply a way to press you into action. By refusing to rush, you reinforce your commitment to making decisions that align with your boundaries, not their demands. Boundary testers sometimes use physical space as a means of testing your comfort. They may stand too close, ignore your personal space, or touch you without permission. While it may seem like a minor offense, disregarding personal space is a clear way of signaling that they feel entitled to cross boundaries. Recognizing this behavior allows you to assert your personal space without feeling that you're overreacting. Setting a boundary here is essential for reinforcing the understanding that physical comfort is a form of respect, one you're entitled to protect. Sometimes people who test boundaries will downplay your concerns, implying that your boundaries are unnecessary or overly strict. They may say things like, "It's not a big deal," or "You're overthinking it." By minimizing your feelings, they attempt to make you question your own judgment, creating doubt about the validity of your boundaries. Recognizing this tactic is crucial because it reinforces your confidence in your own standards. Your boundaries are valid because they reflect your values, comfort, and well-being, regardless of how anyone else might perceive them. Another tactic used by boundary testers is creating a narrative that paints them as the victim, subtly shifting the focus to their needs and struggles. They might mention how hard they've had it, or imply that you're in a better position to help. This strategy leverages sympathy, making it challenging to maintain your boundary without feeling insensitive. By identifying this approach, you can acknowledge their struggles without letting it influence your decisions, understanding that compassion does not require self-sacrifice. Learning to recognize these signs of boundary testing empowers you with foresight, allowing you to identify when someone is attempting to bend your boundaries to their advantage. This awareness is your first line of defense, an essential skill that keeps you grounded and clear-headed in the face of subtle manipulation. With each sign you recognize, you strengthen your resolve, cultivating a life where respect for your boundaries becomes the standard, not the exception. In this way, you set the tone for every interaction, reinforcing that your boundaries are not negotiable but essential to the respect and dignity you deserve. Transitioning from recognizing boundary-testing signs, the next powerful step is mastering the art of emotional detachment. Once you're able to identify when someone is pushing your limits, the next challenge is to maintain control of your emotional response. This isn't about ignoring feelings or being indifferent. It's about staying composed, calm, and unshakable, no matter what comes your way. Emotional detachment gives you a protective shield, one that keeps you from getting swept up in the whirlwind of someone else's demands or manipulations. It allows you to stay in command of your own energy, helping you respond instead of react. Developing emotional detachment begins with awareness, understanding that you're not responsible for other people's emotions, reactions, or choices. Often, people who test boundaries attempt to shift emotional weight onto you, expecting you to carry their frustrations, disappointments, or desires. By recognizing that everyone's feelings are their own responsibility, you can prevent yourself from internalizing emotions that don't belong to you. This approach doesn't make you cold or uncaring. Instead, it liberates you from unnecessary burdens. Emotional detachment lets you observe the situation objectively, helping you see things as they are without the haze of emotional influence clouding your judgment. One powerful way to practice emotional detachment is to pause before responding. In moments when someone tests your limits, taking a deep breath and allowing yourself a few seconds of silence can make all the difference. This brief pause gives you the space to step back from any initial surge of emotion and view the situation from a place of calm. The act of pausing serves as a mental reset, helping you gather your thoughts and remind yourself of your own boundaries and values. With this clarity, you're less likely to react impulsively and more likely to respond with purpose and composure, reinforcing your stance with calm resolve. Learning to view interactions with a sense of neutrality also strengthens your emotional detachment. Neutrality doesn't mean you don't care about others. It means you're able to engage without attaching your worth or happiness to their opinions or actions. When someone tests your boundaries, they're often seeking a reaction, hoping to provoke you into responding emotionally. By approaching these interactions with neutrality, you diffuse their attempts to disrupt your peace. This mindset keeps you anchored, allowing you to observe their behavior without feeling pressured to absorb it as a reflection of yourself. Another effective technique is to use visualization as a tool for emotional separation. Visualize yourself surrounded by a protective layer that keeps you grounded and unaffected by any emotional waves others may send your way. This visual boundary serves as a reminder that your emotional space is separate from theirs. When you encounter someone testing your boundaries, this mental image helps you stay composed, unaffected by any attempts to disrupt your inner calm. The visualization reinforces the idea that you're in control of your emotional state, regardless of external influences. Focusing on your breathing can also play a vital role in maintaining emotional detachment. In situations where emotions are stirred, deep, measured breaths act as an anchor, bringing you back to a state of calm. Controlled breathing helps regulate your nervous system, keeping you grounded and composed. When someone tests your boundaries, instead of reacting impulsively, you can rely on your breath to stabilize yourself, giving you the power to respond thoughtfully. This simple practice connects you to a steady inner calm, preventing external forces from swaying your emotional balance. Adopting a mindset of curiosity rather than judgment can also support emotional detachment. By shifting your focus from judging someone's behavior to observing it, you distance yourself from the emotional impact of their actions. Curiosity allows you to analyze the motives behind their actions without personalizing them. When you view interactions as an observer, you're less likely to react with frustration or defensiveness and more likely to maintain your peace. This perspective helps you stay open-minded, allowing you to understand behavior without being emotionally affected by it, making it easier to respond calmly. Setting internal boundaries further strengthens your ability to stay detached. Internal boundaries are the mental and emotional limits you set within yourself, defining what you allow to affect you emotionally. These boundaries act as an internal compass, guiding you to maintain your own state of mind regardless of others' actions. By setting these boundaries, you create a space within yourself that remains untouched by external pressures or emotional manipulation. When others test your limits, your internal boundaries keep you anchored, reminding you that you control your emotional responses and that you're not obligated to react. Practicing self-compassion can also be a powerful tool in maintaining emotional detachment. Recognizing that it's okay to prioritize your own peace over others' expectations or judgments reinforces your sense of self-worth. Self-compassion helps you acknowledge your feelings without letting them control you. When you're compassionate with yourself, you're less likely to be swayed by guilt or the fear of disappointing others. This inner kindness strengthens your emotional resilience, allowing you to handle boundary tests with calm assurance, knowing that your value doesn't depend on others' approval. Viewing each interaction as an opportunity to reinforce your values can further enhance emotional detachment. When you approach situations with a mindset focused on affirming your own standards, you're less likely to be thrown off balance by others' actions. Instead of reacting to their behavior, you focus on staying true to what matters to you. This shift in perspective gives you the confidence to respond from a place of integrity, turning each boundary test into a moment to practice self-respect. By keeping your values at the forefront, you stay grounded in your own identity, unaffected by attempts to pull you into emotional conflict. Detaching emotionally also involves reframing your understanding of discomfort. Often, boundary testers create tension in an attempt to provoke a reaction. By viewing discomfort as a natural part of asserting boundaries, you become less sensitive to it. Discomfort becomes a temporary feeling that doesn't define the interaction. This shift allows you to remain calm even when the situation feels tense, understanding that temporary discomfort is a small price to pay for long-term peace. Embracing this mindset reinforces your emotional resilience, allowing you to face challenging situations without letting discomfort dictate your response. Redirecting your focus to the bigger picture can also strengthen your detachment. Boundary testing often involves minor provocations that, in the grand scheme of things, hold little significance. By keeping your attention on your long-term goals and values, you prevent yourself from getting caught up in petty conflicts or emotional games. This focus on the broader perspective allows you to maintain your composure, understanding that these small tests are merely distractions. Staying grounded in your larger vision gives you the strength to respond with calm resolve, refusing to let trivial actions disrupt your peace. Using affirmations to reinforce your inner calm can be another helpful strategy. Phrases like, "I am in control of my emotions," or "I choose peace over reaction," remind you of your power to stay detached. Affirmations serve as gentle reminders that you're capable of handling any situation with grace. By repeating these statements, you build a mindset of resilience, strengthening your ability to remain calm under pressure. When boundary testers challenge you, these affirmations ground you, reinforcing your emotional strength and ensuring that you remain centered. Detaching emotionally requires accepting that others' opinions or expectations don't define you. Often, people test boundaries because they have a specific view of how you should act or respond. By accepting that their perceptions are theirs alone, you free yourself from the pressure to conform. This acceptance liberates you, allowing you to stand firm in your own truth without feeling compelled to meet others' standards. Embracing this freedom reinforces your sense of self, making it easier to maintain emotional detachment and remain composed, no matter how others try to test you. Emotional detachment is a skill that grows stronger with practice. Each moment of calm you cultivate, every pause you take, and every response rooted in neutrality strengthens your inner resilience. It's a process of aligning with your own peace, allowing you to navigate boundary tests with clarity and confidence. With each experience, emotional detachment becomes less of an effort and more of a natural response, a quiet strength that shields your inner world, keeping it undisturbed by the storms of others. Through this practice, you reclaim control over your emotions, affirming that your peace is yours to protect, regardless of the challenges that arise. Following the journey of emotional detachment, the next critical step is to understand the manipulation tactics that people often use to test boundaries. Manipulation isn't always overt or easy to recognize. It can be subtle, slipping into everyday interactions in ways that make you question your own boundaries or feel obligated to meet someone else's demands. Knowing these tactics gives you the ability to see through hidden intentions, to recognize when someone's actions are intended to sway you or make you doubt your own judgment. By understanding manipulation, you gain the power to uphold your boundaries without falling into the emotional traps set by others. One of the most common manipulation tactics is guilt tripping. Guilt tripping often sounds like someone expressing disappointment, but it's a calculated way of pressuring you to do something by making you feel responsible for their emotions. Phrases like, "I thought you cared about me," or "I can't believe you would let me down like this," are often used to provoke a sense of guilt, framing your choices as hurtful. The underlying message is that by saying no or setting boundaries, you're somehow failing them. Recognizing guilt tripping allows you to separate their emotional expectations from your own choices, freeing you from the obligation to fulfill their needs at the cost of your peace. Passive aggression is another subtle yet powerful manipulation tool. Rather than expressing their dissatisfaction directly, passive-aggressive individuals make indirect remarks, often framed as jokes or light comments, to convey their discontent. They might say things like, "Must be nice to have so much free time," when you decline to help with their requests, or "I guess you're too busy for us," when you choose to prioritize your needs. Passive aggression creates an uncomfortable atmosphere, aiming to make you feel guilty or pressured to reconsider your decision. By recognizing these veiled comments for what they are, you avoid the trap of emotional discomfort and maintain your stance with confidence. Silent treatment is another tactic used to make you question your boundaries. When someone resorts to silence or withdrawal, they aim to make you feel anxious or guilty for not meeting their expectations. Silence, when used as a tool of control, is meant to communicate dissatisfaction or disappointment without words. This tactic is effective because it leaves you guessing, creating a space for self-doubt and emotional discomfort. Recognizing that silence can be a form of manipulation helps you remain calm and detached, understanding that you don't need to alter your boundaries to earn someone's approval or regain their attention. Another tactic used to manipulate boundaries is constant forgetfulness. People might forget your boundaries or your requests, making it seem as though they simply need reminders. But if this behavior is consistent, it's often a sign of manipulation. By pretending to forget, they put the responsibility on you to repeat yourself, testing your patience and hoping you'll eventually give in. Understanding that this isn't genuine forgetfulness, but rather a subtle form of disrespect, gives you the power to hold firm, asserting your boundaries without feeling frustrated or defeated. Gaslighting is a particularly damaging manipulation tactic that involves making you question your own perceptions or memories. When someone gaslights you, they might say things like, "You're overreacting," or "That's not what happened," implying that your feelings or memories are invalid or exaggerated. Gaslighting creates doubt, making you question whether you're seeing things accurately or overstepping. Recognizing gaslighting as a tactic allows you to trust your own experiences and emotions, understanding that your perception is valid, even if others try to convince you otherwise. Flattery, when used strategically, can also be a manipulation tactic. Compliments are often disarming, creating a sense of warmth or gratitude that makes you feel more open to the other person's requests. Someone might say, "You're always so generous," or "I know I can count on you," just before asking for a favor that crosses your boundaries. Flattery in this context isn't genuine. It's a way of making you feel appreciated so that you'll be more willing to oblige. Recognizing when compliments are strategically timed helps you separate genuine praise from a manipulative tactic designed to soften your boundaries. People who test boundaries may also use triangulation as a tactic, bringing a third person into the situation to create pressure. For instance, they might say, "Even John agrees that you're being unreasonable," or "Everyone thinks you're overreacting." Triangulation creates the illusion of collective disapproval, making you feel isolated in your stance. This tactic is intended to create doubt by implying that others view your boundary as unreasonable. Recognizing triangulation allows you to see through the illusion of majority opinion, reinforcing your confidence in your own boundaries without being swayed by perceived external judgment. Minimizing your feelings or experiences is another subtle manipulation tactic used to weaken your boundaries. People might say things like, "You're making a big deal out of nothing," or "It's not that serious," downplaying your concerns as trivial. By minimizing your feelings, they aim to make you question the importance of your boundaries, hoping you'll second-guess your stance and prioritize their comfort over your own. Recognizing this tactic enables you to stay rooted in your own experiences, understanding that your boundaries are valid and worth maintaining, regardless of how others perceive them. Some manipulators use emotional dumping to test your boundaries, sharing their problems or frustrations without considering your emotional space. They may unload their emotions onto you, expecting sympathy and support without reciprocating. This tactic creates a sense of obligation, making you feel responsible for alleviating their emotional burdens. Understanding this behavior as a tactic helps you set boundaries around emotional exchanges, ensuring that your support isn't taken for granted or used as a tool for manipulation. People may also test boundaries by feigning helplessness, acting as though they're unable to accomplish tasks without your assistance. Statements like, "I just don't know what I'd do without you," or "I'm hopeless at this," are intended to make you feel indispensable, creating pressure to step in and help. This tactic, though subtle, relies on your empathy, making it harder to refuse without feeling selfish. Recognizing when helplessness is used strategically allows you to detach emotionally, understanding that your help isn't always necessary and that their well-being doesn't depend solely on you. Some individuals manipulate boundaries through the tactic of making promises they don't intend to keep, known as breadcrumbing. They might promise to change a behavior, show appreciation, or respect your boundaries in the future, only to revert to the same patterns. Breadcrumbing creates a cycle of false hope, making you believe that they'll eventually respect your boundaries. By recognizing this cycle, you can avoid getting trapped in the expectation of change, understanding that your boundaries deserve respect in the present, not just promises for the future. Emotional blackmail is another tactic that involves leveraging your emotions to control your choices. Statements like, "If you really loved me, you'd do this for me," or "You'll regret this if you don't help," are designed to create fear, obligation, or guilt. Emotional blackmail exploits your desire to be supportive, using your emotions against you to weaken your boundaries. Recognizing emotional blackmail helps you stay firm, reminding you that love or loyalty doesn't require sacrificing your own well-being. Financial manipulation, though less common, is a powerful boundary-testing tactic where someone uses money as a tool of control. This can look like giving gifts or financial assistance with the expectation that you'll feel obligated to reciprocate in other ways. Financial manipulation can create a sense of indebtedness, pressuring you to comply with their wishes. Understanding that financial gifts come with strings attached allows you to view these gestures objectively, recognizing that genuine support doesn't require unspoken obligations. Another common tactic is creating a sense of urgency. Manipulators often make their requests seem time-sensitive, pressuring you to act quickly without considering your own needs. They might say, "I need your answer now," or "This can't wait." This tactic relies on bypassing your usual thought process, hoping you'll feel pressured into complying. Recognizing this strategy allows you to take a step back, reminding yourself that genuine respect for your boundaries includes giving you time to consider your options. Fear of missing out, or FOMO, is sometimes used as a subtle form of manipulation, especially in social or professional settings. People might suggest that by refusing, you're missing out on an important opportunity or experience. Statements like, "Everyone else is doing it," or "You don't want to be left behind, do you?" are designed to create pressure through the fear of exclusion. Recognizing FOMO as a tactic allows you to prioritize your own comfort and boundaries over the pressure to conform, understanding that meaningful opportunities align with your values rather than forcing you to compromise. Conditional kindness is another subtle yet impactful manipulation tactic. Here, someone might show warmth, support, or affection only when you're fulfilling their needs or expectations. This behavior creates an atmosphere where you feel that maintaining their approval depends on meeting their demands. By recognizing this conditional kindness, you understand that authentic relationships don't rely on you bending your boundaries. Genuine support and care exist regardless of whether you comply with their wishes. People may also manipulate by shifting blame onto you, framing your boundaries as a source of conflict. They might say, "You're causing problems by being difficult," or "You're the reason things are tense." This tactic reframes the situation, suggesting that your boundaries are the cause of discord rather than their actions. Recognizing blame shifting as manipulation allows you to maintain confidence in your boundaries, understanding that respect for your limits shouldn't be viewed as the problem. Finally, it's essential to be aware of love bombing as a tactic. This involves overwhelming you with affection, attention, or praise, creating an intense bond that makes you more inclined to meet their needs. Love bombing is often used to create a sense of attachment, making it difficult to assert boundaries. Recognizing this tactic as a strategy allows you to assess relationships objectively, understanding that genuine connections respect boundaries without overwhelming displays of affection meant to secure compliance. Through awareness of these manipulation tactics, you gain the insight to see beyond surface-level behaviors, recognizing when someone's actions are designed to weaken your boundaries or sway your decisions. This understanding empowers you to maintain control, reinforcing your boundaries with clarity and self-assurance. With each tactic you recognize, you strengthen your ability to stand firm, holding to your values and priorities without yielding to external pressures. This level of awareness is a powerful tool, one that keeps your boundaries intact and protects your inner peace in all interactions. Having gained a deep understanding of manipulation tactics, the next essential step is setting clear boundaries and communicating them with confidence. It's one thing to know when someone is pushing your limits, but it's entirely different to communicate those limits assertively without causing unnecessary tension. Clear boundary setting isn't about creating division. It's about fostering respect, both for yourself and from others. When done effectively, setting boundaries builds stronger, healthier relationships and protects your energy. This is where true empowerment begins, by confidently expressing your needs and expectations in a way that is both respectful and unwavering. The first aspect of setting clear boundaries is to know exactly what you need before communicating it to others. Clarity with yourself is the foundation. When you're uncertain, it's easy for boundaries to waver, which others may pick up on and take as permission to push. Take time to reflect on what you truly need, what you're comfortable with, and what you're not willing to compromise. This self-awareness creates a solid foundation, ensuring that your boundaries are based on genuine personal values rather than fleeting feelings. With clear intentions, your boundaries will naturally have more strength and consistency. When communicating boundaries, it's essential to be direct and straightforward. Ambiguity leaves room for misinterpretation, so avoid phrases like, "I'd prefer if," or "it would be nice if," which can sound uncertain or tentative. Instead, use language that is both firm and polite, such as "I need" or "it's important for me." These phrases clarify that your boundaries are not requests, but clear expectations. This level of clarity reduces the chance of miscommunication, helping others understand exactly where you stand. Being direct is not about being harsh. It's about valuing your own needs enough to express them without hesitation. One of the keys to assertive communication is keeping your tone calm and neutral. Tone plays a significant role in how your message is received. By speaking in a calm and steady voice, you convey that your boundaries are non-negotiable without inviting conflict or defensive reactions. A composed tone sends a message of self-assurance, showing that you're not willing to argue or negotiate over your boundaries. This calmness reinforces the fact that your boundaries are firm, and it also sets a respectful tone for the conversation, helping others feel comfortable enough to respect your limits without feeling challenged. Using I statements is another effective way to communicate boundaries confidently. I statements focus on your own feelings and needs, rather than assigning blame or making accusations. For example, instead of saying, "You're always interrupting me," try, "I need some time to speak without interruptions." This approach keeps the conversation focused on your needs rather than on the other person's actions, reducing the risk of conflict. It helps maintain a constructive dialogue, showing that your intention is not to criticize, but to establish mutual respect. I statements make your boundaries easier to accept, as they come from a place of self-care rather than confrontation. Another powerful aspect of communicating boundaries is to remain concise. Lengthy explanations or justifications can dilute the strength of your boundary. When you add too many details, it may appear that you're uncertain or that your boundaries are open to debate. Instead, keep your statements simple and to the point. You don't need to elaborate on why your boundary matters. It's enough to state it clearly. Brevity shows that you're confident in your stance, making it easier for others to understand and respect your limits, without feeling invited to negotiate or challenge them. Anticipating potential reactions and being prepared to stay firm is also crucial in effective boundary communication. People may try to test, question, or even dismiss your boundaries, especially if they're not used to hearing you assert yourself. Having a clear plan for how to respond calmly and assertively can prevent you from being caught off guard. By mentally preparing yourself, you reinforce your commitment to your boundary, knowing that you're ready to handle any reaction with composure. This readiness prevents you from wavering, showing others that your boundaries are set with intention and won't be compromised. Establishing boundaries without guilt is another vital aspect of confident communication. Many people struggle with feeling guilty when setting limits, fearing they might be perceived as selfish or difficult. However, boundaries are a form of self-respect, not selfishness. Remind yourself that you're setting boundaries to protect your well-being, not to inconvenience others. When you let go of guilt, you're able to communicate your boundaries with a genuine sense of self-worth, which others can sense. This lack of guilt makes it easier to stand by your boundaries, showing that you're confident in your right to prioritize your needs. Reinforcing your boundaries through consistent actions is just as important as verbal communication. Actions often speak louder than words. By consistently upholding your boundaries, you send a clear message that they're non-negotiable. If someone repeatedly crosses your boundaries, calmly enforce them through action, such as stepping away from situations where they're not respected. Consistency is key. Each time you uphold your boundary, you build respect and trust in your relationships. Consistency shows that your boundaries are not temporary or flexible. They are a permanent part of how you engage with others. Responding to boundary pushback with empathy, but without compromise, also strengthens your stance. People may express frustration or disappointment when confronted with your boundaries, but this doesn't mean you need to adjust them to accommodate others' feelings. Acknowledge their emotions, but stay resolute. For example, you might say, "I understand this might be hard to accept, but this is what I need." By validating their feelings without shifting your boundary, you maintain a compassionate yet firm position. This approach shows respect for both parties, reinforcing that boundaries can coexist with empathy. Remaining calm in the face of resistance also strengthens the way you communicate boundaries. When someone reacts negatively or tries to challenge your boundary, responding calmly reinforces your confidence and deters further attempts to push. Reacting emotionally, on the other hand, can give the impression that your boundary is unstable or open to discussion. By staying calm, you assert that your boundary is well considered and final, creating an atmosphere where others understand that challenging it will not yield different results. This calmness enhances the clarity and strength of your communication, making your boundary even more effective. Learning to recognize when to repeat your boundary without additional explanation is also essential. Some individuals may try to revisit the topic multiple times, hoping you'll eventually compromise. Instead of engaging in repeated discussions or offering further explanations, simply restate your boundary as needed. For instance, if someone persists after you've already expressed your limit, calmly reiterate, "I've already explained what I need, and that hasn't changed." Repeating without additional explanations emphasizes that your boundary isn't open for negotiation, reinforcing its firmness and discouraging repeated challenges. Using positive language when setting boundaries can make them easier for others to accept. Framing your boundary as something that benefits both parties helps create an atmosphere of mutual respect. For example, saying, "I'm setting this boundary so we can have a healthier, more respectful relationship," focuses on the positive outcome, showing that your boundary supports the relationship rather than creating division. Positive language demonstrates that you're committed to constructive communication, making it more likely that others will respond positively to your boundary. Reaffirming your commitment to maintaining open communication is another way to strengthen your boundary setting. Assure others that while your boundaries are firm, you're always open to respectful conversations. This openness fosters trust, showing that your boundaries aren't intended to shut people out, but to create a balanced, respectful relationship. By emphasizing that you value honest, respectful interactions, you set a tone of cooperation and understanding, reinforcing that boundaries are part of a healthy, open dialogue. Practicing boundary setting through small, everyday situations builds your confidence for larger, more challenging conversations. Start by setting boundaries in low-stakes scenarios, like declining a minor request or expressing your preference in group settings. Each time you successfully assert a boundary, you build the skills and self-assurance needed for more significant boundary-setting moments. This practice allows you to fine-tune your approach, learning what language and tone work best for you. Over time, these small victories create a strong foundation, making it easier to communicate boundaries in all areas of life. Approaching boundary setting as an act of self-care also reinforces your confidence. When you see boundaries as essential to your well-being, communicating them becomes a natural expression of self-respect. You're less likely to waver or feel uncertain because you understand that these limits support your mental and emotional health. This perspective shifts boundary setting from a challenging task to a form of self-empowerment, allowing you to communicate with a sense of inner strength and purpose. It reminds you that setting boundaries isn't just for the benefit of others. It's a necessary step in caring for yourself. Knowing that boundary setting is an ongoing process rather than a one-time conversation also helps you maintain confidence. People may need time to adjust to your boundaries, and new situations may arise that require additional clarification. Understanding that boundary setting is fluid keeps you prepared to reaffirm your needs when necessary, without feeling frustrated by the need for repetition. This mindset of adaptability allows you to stay consistent without rigid expectations, making it easier to approach boundary setting as an ongoing dialogue that supports your well-being. Ultimately, setting clear boundaries and communicating them with confidence is about building a respectful space for yourself within all relationships. By combining clarity, calmness, and consistency, you create an environment where others understand and honor your limits. Each boundary you set is a declaration of your worth and a step toward relationships built on mutual respect. The more you practice, the more natural and empowering it becomes to communicate your needs without fear or hesitation. This journey of confident boundary setting not only protects your peace, but also strengthens every connection based on the foundation of respect. With the foundation of clear and confident communication established, the next vital skill is learning how to stay grounded under pressure. When someone pushes against your boundaries, especially with persistence or emotional tactics, it can be challenging to hold your ground without feeling flustered or reactive. However, resilience under pressure isn't just about enduring discomfort. It's about staying connected to your calm center, remaining unshaken, and responding with clarity. This ability keeps you in control, allowing you to handle boundary tests gracefully without giving away your peace or power. The first step to staying grounded is to focus on your breathing. Breathing may seem simple, but under stress, our breathing patterns often change, becoming shallow or hurried. This type of breathing can amplify feelings of anxiety or tension. By taking slow, deep breaths, you bring your body back to a calm state, which in turn helps your mind to stay clear. Deep breathing signals to your nervous system that you are safe, allowing you to respond from a place of stability instead of reaction. In moments of pressure, This technique helps you remain composed, reminding you that you are in control. Another powerful tool for staying grounded is cultivating awareness of your physical sensations. Tuning into your body can help you stay connected to the present moment, rather than getting swept away by emotional reactions. When you feel the tension building, notice the sensations in your body, whether it's a tightness in your chest, a clenching in your jaw, or an increased heart rate. Recognizing these sensations can prevent them from escalating. This awareness acts as an anchor, keeping you focused on the here and now, rather than allowing stress to build unchecked. With practice, this simple grounding technique can be a powerful shield against emotional overwhelm. Establishing a mental boundary is equally essential when someone tests your limits. A mental boundary is an inner wall that reminds you where your responsibility ends and another person's begins. When someone attempts to guilt trip or provoke you, this mental boundary serves as a reminder that their emotions are not your burden to carry. Practicing this separation can prevent you from absorbing their feelings, allowing you to stay grounded in your own emotional space. This mental barrier is not about detachment, it's about creating a healthy distance that protects your peace. Visualizing a grounding object can also help you stay steady under pressure. This could be a simple, neutral image, like a tree or a mountain, that represents stability and resilience. Whenever you feel your emotions rising, mentally focus on this object, picturing its unmovable nature. By returning to this mental image, you remind yourself of your own inner strength and ability to remain rooted, no matter how intense the situation becomes. This technique gives you a mental anchor that you can call upon to reinforce your resilience. Focusing on facts instead of emotions can also help you maintain your calm when boundaries are tested. In heated moments, emotions can cloud your perspective, making it easy to feel overwhelmed. By focusing on the facts of the situation, what was said, what happened, and your boundaries, you strip away the emotional weight, allowing you to see things with clarity. This approach keeps you grounded in reality rather than caught up in a whirlwind of feelings. Grounding yourself in facts is a way to maintain a clear mind, helping you make decisions based on reason rather than reaction. Setting an intention to remain calm before entering potentially challenging situations can also strengthen your resilience. When you consciously decide to stay calm, you're better equipped to handle stressors without letting them disrupt your peace. This intention serves as a mental preparation, allowing you to face pressure with a mindset focused on calm and clarity. Having this intention can be a powerful reminder to prioritize your peace, making it easier to resist the urge to react emotionally. The act of setting an intention aligns your mind with your desired outcome, giving you a strong foundation to stay grounded. Another effective grounding technique is maintaining control over your body language. Body language communicates a great deal, and under pressure, physical signals like crossing your arms, shifting your weight, or fidgeting can reflect and even increase your stress. By keeping an open posture, holding your head high, and maintaining eye contact, you communicate confidence and control, both to others and to yourself. This physical stance reinforces your internal strength, helping you stay calm and collected. When your body language conveys confidence, it's easier to feel grounded within, even if the external situation is tense. Creating a mantra or phrase that reinforces your calm can also help you stay grounded under pressure. This can be something as simple as, "I am steady," or "I choose calm." Repeating this mantra silently in moments of tension serves as a reminder of your inner strength and your commitment to staying grounded. A mantra helps to quiet the mind, creating a mental anchor that you can return to whenever you feel tested. This simple yet powerful practice can be a great support, keeping you centered and resilient. Setting emotional boundaries by prioritizing self-compassion is another way to stay grounded. Self-compassion allows you to recognize that it's okay to protect your peace, even if others feel uncomfortable with your boundaries. When you approach yourself with kindness, you're less likely to internalize the reactions of others or feel guilt for maintaining your limits. Self-compassion is a form of self-respect, and it reinforces your right to stand firm. This inner kindness becomes a source of resilience, allowing you to remain calm and grounded in the face of pressure. Redirecting your focus from the other person's reactions to your own internal state can further strengthen your grounding. When you focus too much on the other person's words or expressions, it's easy to lose your center and feel pulled into their emotional intensity. By consciously bringing your attention back to your own breathing, posture and thoughts, you shift from reacting to observing. This shift allows you to remain composed, understanding that their reactions are separate from your boundaries. Observing yourself rather than the other person is a grounding practice that keeps you steady. Understanding that not every issue requires an immediate response is another important tool for staying grounded. Under pressure, there's often a sense of urgency to respond quickly, especially if someone is pushing against your boundaries. Recognizing that you can take a moment or even walk away before responding relieves you from the need to react on the spot. This practice of allowing space gives you time to regain your center, ensuring that your response is calm and thoughtful. By allowing yourself this freedom, you reinforce your resilience, knowing that you control the pace of your interactions. Practicing non-attachment to outcomes can also help you stay grounded under pressure. Often, the need to control or predict outcomes creates stress, especially when setting boundaries. By letting go of the need to dictate how others respond, you free yourself from the weight of their reactions. Non-attachment allows you to focus on your own intentions and actions rather than the outcome. This mindset keeps you centered, helping you remain calm regardless of how others choose to respond. It's a powerful reminder that your peace doesn't depend on others' approval, only on your commitment to your values. Embracing a mindset of curiosity rather than judgment is another technique that can keep you grounded. When someone tests your boundaries, you might feel judged or defensive, but shifting to a mindset of curiosity allows you to observe their behavior without personalizing it. By viewing the situation as a learning opportunity rather than a threat, you distance yourself from emotional reactivity. This approach allows you to stay calm, understanding that their actions reflect their own mindset rather than a judgment of your worth. Curiosity keeps you open and grounded, providing perspective in challenging moments. Remembering that staying grounded is a skill that improves with practice can help you approach this process with patience. Learning to remain steady under pressure isn't something that happens overnight. It's a journey of self-awareness and growth. Each time you face a challenging situation with calm resilience, you strengthen your ability to handle pressure gracefully. This perspective encourages you to view each experience as an opportunity to build inner strength, reinforcing your commitment to staying grounded. Over time, this practice becomes second nature, allowing you to face any boundary test with calm assurance. Staying grounded under pressure is a journey of self-mastery. With each tool you apply, from deep breathing to non-attachment, you strengthen your ability to protect your peace and navigate challenging situations without losing your center. Grounding isn't just a tool for boundary setting, it's a skill that enriches every area of life, giving you the resilience to face difficulties with clarity and calm. With practice, staying grounded becomes a natural response, allowing you to engage with others from a place of inner strength and unwavering self-respect. After establishing a steady foundation of calm resilience, the next critical step is mastering the art of non-retaliation. When someone tests your boundaries, especially with provocation or manipulation, the urge to respond emotionally can be strong. But emotional retaliation only feeds the conflict, giving the other person power over your state of mind. Choosing not to engage emotionally is a powerful way to maintain your peace, showing that your well-being doesn't depend on their approval or reaction. This approach isn't about suppression, it's about responding from a place of calm control rather than reacting impulsively. The first key to avoiding emotional retaliation is understanding that retaliation often reinforces the behavior you're trying to stop. When someone pushes your limits and you respond with frustration, anger, or sarcasm, it tells them they have succeeded in affecting you. This reaction not only gives them power, but also invites further attempts to test your boundaries. By choosing not to respond emotionally, you signal that their attempts to provoke you are ineffective, making it less likely that they'll continue trying to manipulate you in the future. This approach takes their power away, keeping you in control. One powerful tool in avoiding retaliation is to practice emotional detachment. This means separating your inner emotions from the situation at hand. When you feel the urge to retaliate, pause and remind yourself that your emotional state doesn't need to mirror the external situation. Emotional detachment allows you to respond from a place of inner calm, recognizing that the other person's behavior reflects their own issues, not your worth or values. This separation gives you the freedom to observe their actions without feeling the need to defend or retaliate, creating a sense of calm strength. Silence can also be a powerful response to provocation. When someone tries to provoke you, silence communicates that you are unbothered and unwilling to engage in a negative exchange. Silence doesn't mean ignoring. It means choosing not to participate in an emotional back and forth that serves no purpose. By staying silent, you maintain your dignity and avoid giving them the satisfaction of a reaction. This lack of response often deflates attempts to provoke you, as it shows that you are firmly grounded in your peace, refusing to be drawn into unnecessary conflict. Choosing calm indifference is another approach to avoid emotional retaliation. Indifference doesn't mean you don't care. It means that you're choosing not to invest emotional energy in the situation. Indifference acts as a shield, protecting you from feeling hurt or frustrated by others' attempts to provoke you. This state of mind helps you maintain a steady and composed response, signaling that your peace isn't dependent on their actions. Indifference empowers you to remain centered, showing that your happiness and self-respect are not dictated by external situations. Reframing the situation can also help you avoid emotional retaliation. When faced with a provocation, ask yourself what you can learn from this moment rather than seeing it as an attack. This reframing transforms the situation into a personal growth opportunity, helping you view it from a perspective of self-development. By seeing the situation as a chance to practice patience and resilience, you shift your focus from reacting emotionally to cultivating inner strength. This approach keeps you grounded, allowing you to handle the situation without giving in to the urge for retaliation. Maintaining control over your body language is another effective way to prevent emotional retaliation. Physical gestures often reveal our emotions before words do. Crossed arms, clenched fists, or an intense gaze can communicate anger or frustration, even if you're trying to stay calm. By keeping a relaxed, open posture, you signal to yourself and others that you're unaffected by their attempts to provoke. This control over your physical presence reinforces your internal calm, helping you resist the urge to retaliate. When your body language remains neutral, it reflects and strengthens your mental resolve. Practicing self-awareness during moments of conflict is essential in avoiding emotional retaliation. Self-awareness means recognizing when your emotions are starting to rise and taking steps to bring them back to a state of calm. By acknowledging your emotional triggers, you can prevent them from escalating into retaliation. This self-awareness acts as a personal alarm system, alerting you when you're at risk of reacting impulsively. With this insight, you can choose a calmer response, maintaining control over your emotions rather than letting them control you. Another valuable technique is shifting your focus to the bigger picture. In heated moments, it's easy to get caught up in the desire to defend yourself or prove a point. But when you take a step back and remember your broader goals, you realize that engaging in petty conflict doesn't serve your long-term peace. By focusing on your commitment to growth and inner calm, you can let go of the need to respond emotionally. This perspective keeps you grounded in what truly matters, allowing you to rise above temporary provocations. Responding with empathy rather than defensiveness can also prevent emotional retaliation. When someone tries to provoke you, consider that their behavior may stem from their own struggles, insecurities, or misunderstandings. Responding with empathy doesn't mean condoning their behavior. It means acknowledging that their actions reflect their own challenges. This compassionate perspective helps you maintain calm, reducing the need to react emotionally. By understanding that their behavior isn't about you, you create space to respond thoughtfully rather than react defensively. Setting a mental boundary can also help you avoid the urge to retaliate. A mental boundary is a reminder that the other person's actions are not your responsibility to fix or react to. This mental distance allows you to maintain control over your emotional space, understanding that you don't need to meet provocation with an emotional response. This boundary keeps you grounded, helping you navigate the situation with calm clarity rather than feeling pressured to defend or retaliate. Mental boundaries create a protective layer around your peace, allowing you to choose your response consciously. Practicing gratitude can also serve as a tool to prevent emotional retaliation. Gratitude shifts your focus from the negative aspects of the situation to the positives in your life, reminding you of what truly matters. When you're grateful for your own peace and well-being, you're less likely to feel threatened by others' attempts to provoke you. This perspective reinforces your inner stability, helping you remain calm and indifferent to negative behavior. Gratitude serves as a reminder that your peace is valuable and worth protecting, strengthening your resolve to avoid emotional retaliation. Grounding yourself through deep breathing can also help you maintain calm when provoked. Slow, steady breaths help regulate your nervous system, bringing you back to a state of balance. When you feel the urge to retaliate, taking a few deep breaths creates a pause, allowing you to regain control over your emotions. This simple act reminds you of your ability to stay calm, giving you the strength to resist the impulse for retaliation. Breathing deeply reconnects you to your inner calm, making it easier to respond thoughtfully rather than emotionally. Turning to inner affirmations is another powerful way to avoid emotional retaliation. Phrases like, "I am in control of my emotions," or "I choose peace," can serve as reminders of your commitment to staying calm. These affirmations ground you in your values, helping you prioritize peace over conflict. By repeating these phrases, you reinforce your self-control, reminding yourself that you have the power to respond with calm indifference. Affirmations provide mental support, giving you a solid foundation to handle provocations without reacting emotionally. Practicing self-compassion in moments of conflict also supports calm, non-reactive responses. Self-compassion means recognizing that it's natural to feel triggered or defensive, but choosing not to act on those feelings impulsively. When you approach yourself with kindness, you're less likely to feel the need to retaliate out of hurt or frustration. Self-compassion strengthens your resilience, helping you handle challenges without allowing others to disrupt your peace. By treating yourself with understanding, You reinforce your commitment to maintaining calm no matter how others behave. Understanding that non-retaliation is a skill that improves with practice can also help you avoid reacting emotionally. Staying calm under pressure isn't always easy, and moments of provocation can test your limits. By viewing each experience as an opportunity to practice patience, you approach the situation with a growth mindset. This perspective reduces the pressure to respond perfectly, helping you focus on gradual improvement. Each time you choose not to retaliate, you strengthen your self-control, building a habit of calm resilience that becomes more natural over time. Learning to stay grounded without engaging in emotional retaliation is a journey of self-mastery. With each choice to respond calmly, you build a foundation of inner strength, showing that your peace is too valuable to be disrupted by others' behavior. By focusing on non-retaliation, you free yourself from the cycle of conflict, creating a life where your responses are guided by wisdom and calm rather than impulse. This approach empowers you to handle provocations with grace, reinforcing your commitment to protect your peace and honor your values. Transitioning from the strength of non-retaliation, we now explore one of the most powerful tools in boundary setting: silence. When words could only fuel the fire or expose vulnerabilities, silence serves as a shield, protecting your energy and maintaining your dignity. Choosing to stay silent can feel counterintuitive, especially when someone is testing your boundaries or pushing for a reaction. But silence, used wisely, can communicate strength and confidence far more effectively than words. It shows that you are unshakable, that you are fully in control, and that your peace is too precious to be disturbed. The first benefit of silence is that it disarms those who rely on emotional reactions to feel in control. People who test boundaries often thrive on the energy of conflict, using words to push, provoke, and manipulate. When you refuse to engage verbally, you deny them the fuel they need to intensify the interaction. Your silence communicates that you are not a willing participant in their emotional games. This unexpected response often leaves them uncertain and unable to sustain their tactics. By staying quiet, you show that their attempts to disrupt your peace have no effect, forcing them to face their own behavior without your emotional participation. Silence can also create a powerful space for reflection, both for you and the other person. When you choose not to respond immediately, you give yourself a moment to gather your thoughts, allowing emotions to settle and clarity to emerge. This pause allows you to process the situation from a calm, centered place rather than reacting impulsively. Silence gives you time to consider whether a response is truly necessary or if the best action is simply to walk away. For the other person, silence can be equally impactful, as it creates a void in the conversation, forcing them to reflect on their words or actions. Silence in this way becomes a mirror, encouraging self-reflection without the need for confrontation. Mastering silence as a power move also involves understanding that silence doesn't mean passivity. Silence is an active choice, a deliberate decision to protect your energy and maintain control over your own state of mind. When you stay silent, you are choosing not to waste words on interactions that don't serve you. This intentional quietness conveys that you are fully in control of yourself, willing to disengage rather than lowering yourself to a level of unnecessary conflict. Silence is an assertion of strength, showing that you do not need to justify, defend, or explain yourself to others. Your silence is a boundary that speaks volumes without a single word. Choosing silence can also serve as a boundary that demands respect. When someone continually pushes or challenges you, silence communicates that you have nothing further to say on the matter, making it clear that their attempts to sway you are ineffective. This silent boundary is a firm line in the sand, one that tells others you will not be moved or provoked into arguments. This type of silence has a calming effect on the situation, removing the emotional charge and leaving little room for further escalation. The message is clear. You value your peace over unnecessary words, setting an example that others are likely to respect. Another powerful aspect of silence is that it gives you the opportunity to listen fully. In moments of conflict, it's easy to focus on what you want to say rather than truly hearing the other person. Silence allows you to step back and observe, gathering valuable insights into their motives, behaviors, and intentions. By listening without interrupting, you gain a clearer understanding of the situation, equipping yourself with the knowledge needed to make informed decisions. Silence is an act of patience, one that enables you to gather all the information before responding, giving you a strategic advantage. Silence can also help diffuse emotionally charged situations. When tensions are high, words can act like fuel on a fire, escalating emotions and intensifying conflict. Silence, however, serves as a cooling influence, allowing the emotional intensity to subside. By refraining from adding your voice to the situation, you create a space for calm to return, making it easier for both parties to approach the issue with reason rather than heightened emotion. Silence, in this way, becomes a powerful tool for restoring balance and encouraging a more thoughtful resolution. In certain cases, silence communicates self-respect and boundaries more powerfully than any words could. When someone behaves disrespectfully or pushes your limits, silence conveys that you will not tolerate such behavior. Rather than engaging or attempting to explain your boundaries, silence leaves no room for negotiation. It shows that your standards are non-negotiable, that you have chosen to remove yourself from interactions that don't align with your values. This silent stance reinforces your self-worth, demonstrating that you prioritize your peace over winning an argument or proving a point. Silence also teaches others that they cannot easily access your emotions or inner world. When you choose silence, you withhold your emotional energy, creating a sense of mystery and strength. This control over your emotional expression establishes a clear boundary, showing that you are selective about who gets to share in your thoughts and feelings. By maintaining this emotional privacy, you prevent others from using your reactions against you, ensuring that your state of mind remains independent of external influences. This silent strength communicates that you are self-contained and that your well-being is not contingent on others' approval or disapproval. Practicing silence can also help you develop greater emotional resilience. By staying quiet, you learn to sit with your own feelings without seeking immediate relief through expression. This practice strengthens your ability to handle discomfort and frustration without needing to externalize it. Over time, this self-containment builds resilience, helping you become less affected by external provocations. Silence, in this way, becomes a practice of emotional strength, teaching you to maintain peace within yourself, regardless of what others say or do. Choosing silence over explanation or defense can also reinforce your confidence. When you know that your boundaries are clear, you don't feel the need to explain or justify yourself to others. Silence shows that you trust your own judgment and are secure in your decisions. By refusing to defend your choices, you communicate that you value your own perspective above others' opinions. This quiet confidence speaks volumes, showing that you are self-assured and unwilling to be swayed by external pressures. Silence also protects you from engaging in arguments that go nowhere. Some people seek conflict for the sake of control or attention, hoping to draw you into endless debates. When you choose silence, you deny them this satisfaction, showing that you won't be baited into pointless exchanges. Silence allows you to rise above petty conflicts, refusing to invest your energy in conversations that don't serve your well-being. This refusal to engage elevates you, showing that you prioritize your peace over proving a point. In moments of disagreement, silence can also convey maturity and restraint. Choosing not to engage emotionally, especially when others are acting impulsively, shows that you are capable of handling conflict with grace. This restraint not only preserves your dignity, but also encourages others to reflect on their own behavior. Your silence sets an example, showing that self-control is a powerful response to provocation. This mature approach often inspires respect, as it demonstrates a level of discipline and wisdom that words alone cannot convey. Another benefit of silence is that it allows others to feel the full impact of their actions without interference. When someone behaves hurtfully or disrespectfully, your silence forces them to confront their behavior without your input. This void creates an opportunity for them to reflect, as they are left with their own words and actions. Silence serves as a natural consequence, showing that disrespect or manipulation won't elicit a reaction from you. This absence of response often holds more weight than any argument, as it forces them to consider the effects of their behavior. Silence also reinforces the idea that you control the direction of your energy and attention. By choosing when to speak and when to remain silent, you set the terms of your engagement. This control over your own expression communicates that you are selective about where you place your focus, ensuring that your energy is spent only on situations that align with your values. This intentional use of silence shows that you are not easily influenced or controlled, reinforcing your independence and self-respect. Over time, mastering silence as a power move becomes a natural extension of your personal strength. Each moment of silence reinforces your commitment to inner peace, showing that you prioritize your own well-being over fleeting conflicts. This practice not only protects your boundaries, but also enhances your resilience, helping you navigate challenges with unwavering calm. Silence becomes a statement of strength, showing that your self-worth is rooted in your own values, unaffected by others' words or actions. Mastering the art of silence transforms the way you approach boundary setting and conflict. With each moment of intentional quiet, you gain greater control over your emotions, fostering a sense of strength that others can sense. Silence is a language of its own, one that speaks of confidence, self-respect, and inner peace. This quiet strength empowers you to engage on your terms, protecting your energy and reinforcing your commitment to a life of calm and dignity. Building on the quiet strength of silence, the next essential focus is cultivating the discipline to prioritize your long-term goals over short-lived, trivial conflicts. Every time you choose the bigger picture, you reclaim control over your journey, freeing yourself from the distractions of fleeting conflicts and validation-seeking traps. Focusing on what truly matters reinforces your purpose, keeping you on a path aligned with your aspirations and values. This shift in focus requires awareness and commitment, but the results transform your life, helping you rise above temporary disruptions and devote yourself fully to growth and achievement. The first key to staying focused on long-term goals is recognizing the value of your time and energy. Time is finite, and every minute spent engaging in petty arguments or responding to unnecessary provocations is a minute taken away from your true objectives. By consciously choosing where to invest your energy, you make a statement that your life and goals are too significant to be derailed by minor conflicts. This mindset helps you approach each day with purpose, ensuring that your actions align with your deeper aspirations rather than superficial distractions. Learning to identify validation traps is another vital step in maintaining focus on the bigger picture. Validation traps are situations where you may feel compelled to prove yourself or seek approval, especially in response to criticism or doubt. Engaging in these validation-seeking behaviors can pull you away from your goals, leading you into endless cycles of reassurance. Recognizing validation traps allows you to avoid these pitfalls, reminding yourself that true confidence comes from within, not from external approval. This awareness reinforces your commitment to your goals, helping you stay grounded in your self-worth rather than seeking validation from others. A powerful tool for maintaining focus on long-term goals is setting clear priorities. Knowing what matters most to you, whether it's personal growth, career advancement, or meaningful relationships, gives you a compass to guide your decisions. When minor conflicts or distractions arise, this clear sense of priority helps you evaluate whether they align with your purpose. If they don't, it's easier to let them go, knowing that your time and energy are better spent on pursuits that support your true values. Setting these priorities creates a strong foundation, helping you navigate life with clarity and resolve. Practicing patience is another key aspect of focusing on long-term goals. Immediate gratification often drives people into conflicts or validation traps as they seek quick wins or short-term relief. By cultivating patience, you learn to see beyond the moment, recognizing that lasting success requires time and dedication. Patience enables you to resist the allure of instant satisfaction, keeping your attention on the bigger picture. This ability to delay gratification is a hallmark of long-term focus, allowing you to approach your goals with the consistency and persistence needed for meaningful progress. Developing resilience against criticism is also essential in staying focused on your goals. When you pursue meaningful objectives, criticism is inevitable. But if you let every negative opinion or piece of feedback distract you, you'll find yourself constantly defending your choices rather than advancing toward your goals. Building resilience means accepting that not everyone will understand or support your vision, and that's okay. By staying grounded in your own values, you can withstand criticism without feeling the need to respond or retaliate. This resilience keeps you focused on what truly matters, allowing you to channel your energy into growth rather than defense. Another effective approach is to regularly revisit and visualize your long-term goals. Taking time to reflect on what you're working toward reinforces your commitment and keeps your motivation strong. Visualizing your goals in detail, what they look like, the impact they'll have, and how they align with your values, brings them to life, making it easier to resist temporary distractions. This mental imagery serves as a reminder of the bigger picture, helping you stay focused on the path ahead rather than being pulled into minor conflicts that don't contribute to your journey. Practicing mindfulness can also strengthen your focus on long-term goals. Mindfulness keeps you rooted in the present moment, helping you respond to situations from a place of clarity rather than impulsivity. When you're mindful, you're better able to recognize when a situation or person is attempting to pull you into unnecessary drama. This awareness allows you to step back, reassess, and choose actions that align with your larger goals. Mindfulness is a powerful tool for filtering distractions, enabling you to remain fully present and engaged in your true priorities. Setting boundaries around your goals is another way to protect your focus. Boundaries are not just for people, they're for situations, activities, and even thoughts that could detract from your path. By setting boundaries with yourself, you commit to avoiding habits or environments that lead to distraction. For example, if a certain environment tends to bring out competitive or defensive behaviors in you, setting a boundary by limiting your exposure can help keep you focused. These boundaries act as guardrails, keeping you aligned with your goals rather than veering off course into trivial matters. Avoiding comparison is also essential when focusing on long-term goals. In a world filled with constant displays of others' successes, It's easy to fall into the trap of measuring your progress against others. Comparison can lead to frustration, envy, and self-doubt, all of which pull you away from your path. By focusing on your unique journey, you free yourself from the distractions of others' lives. Remind yourself that everyone's journey is different, and what matters most is that you're moving in a direction aligned with your values and aspirations. Adopting a growth mindset further enhances your ability to stay focused on long-term goals. A growth mindset views challenges and setbacks as opportunities to learn and grow, rather than as failures. This perspective helps you approach obstacles with resilience, understanding that they're part of the journey. When minor conflicts or distractions arise, a growth mindset allows you to see them as learning experiences rather than hindrances. This attitude of continuous growth keeps you focused on improvement and advancement, even when faced with temporary disruptions. Developing a habit of regularly reflecting on your progress can also reinforce your long-term focus. By taking time to review your achievements and areas for improvement, you create a sense of accountability and purpose. Reflecting on progress keeps your goals top of mind, making it easier to recognize and dismiss distractions that don't serve your journey. This habit of reflection strengthens your commitment, reminding you of the progress you've made and the steps needed to continue moving forward. Embracing flexibility in your approach to long-term goals can also help you stay focused. While your goals may be clear, the path to achieving them may require adjustments along the way. Flexibility allows you to adapt without losing sight of the bigger picture. When unexpected challenges arise, this adaptability helps you stay on course without getting discouraged or distracted by setbacks. By remaining open to new methods or changes in direction, you ensure that temporary obstacles don't derail your journey. Another powerful strategy for focusing on long-term goals is to reduce your attachment to external rewards or validation. When you're overly focused on outcomes like praise, recognition, or status, it becomes easy to get sidetracked by short-term gains or petty competitions. Shifting your focus from external rewards to internal fulfillment keeps you aligned with what truly matters to you. By finding motivation in the process rather than the results, you cultivate a sense of purpose that remains steady regardless of outside opinions or accolades. Maintaining a sense of purpose and meaning in your daily actions also reinforces your focus on long-term goals. Purpose gives each task, no matter how small, a greater significance, reminding you that every step is part of a larger journey. When you approach each day with a sense of purpose, it becomes easier to brush aside minor conflicts or distractions. This purposeful mindset allows you to prioritize activities that support your goals, making you less susceptible to being pulled into unproductive interactions. Cultivating gratitude is another powerful way to stay focused on long-term goals. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's lacking to what's already present, creating a sense of abundance that reduces the appeal of petty conflicts or validation-seeking traps. By appreciating the progress you've made and the opportunities in front of you, you strengthen your commitment to your path. This gratitude-centered approach keeps you grounded, reminding you of the value of your journey and helping you resist the pull of fleeting distractions. Choosing to celebrate small wins along the way can reinforce your long-term focus. Each achievement, no matter how minor, contributes to your ultimate goals, and acknowledging these successes keeps your motivation strong. Celebrating small wins serves as a reminder that progress is ongoing, helping you remain patient and committed to the journey. This focus on incremental progress keeps you engaged, making it easier to overlook short-term conflicts that don't align with your purpose. Focusing on long-term goals over temporary distractions is a transformative mindset that empowers you to live with intention. By prioritizing your true aspirations and values, you create a life driven by purpose rather than fleeting emotions. This discipline to stay focused not only supports your personal growth, but also builds resilience, helping you handle challenges with a clear, goal-oriented perspective. With each day dedicated to the bigger picture, you strengthen your commitment to a life of meaning, self-respect, and fulfillment. Moving from the strength of focusing on long-term goals, the next essential step is reinforcing self-worth through dedicated self-care. When you make your well-being a priority, you send a powerful message to yourself and others that you are valuable and deserving of respect. Self-care isn't just about relaxation or taking breaks. It's a profound act of self-affirmation that builds inner strength, boosts resilience, and empowers you to hold firm boundaries. Through self-care, you cultivate a solid foundation of self-worth, allowing you to navigate life with confidence, knowing that your well-being is your top priority. A powerful aspect of self-care is learning to listen to your body's needs. Often, in the rush of daily life, you might ignore signs of fatigue, stress, or discomfort, pushing through despite what your body is communicating. But when you start truly listening, acknowledging when you need rest, nourishment, or movement, you affirm your worth on a physical level. This attentiveness to your body shows respect for yourself, reinforcing the idea that you deserve to feel well and energized. As you develop this awareness, it becomes easier to prioritize actions that support your health, setting a standard of care that becomes integral to your routine. Emotional self-care is equally essential in reinforcing self-worth. Taking time to acknowledge, understand, and process your emotions without judgment is an act of compassion that nurtures your inner world. When you validate your feelings, you send a message to yourself that they matter, building a stronger sense of self-respect. This practice of emotional care prevents you from suppressing or ignoring emotions, allowing you to process and release them in a healthy way. By prioritizing your emotional well-being, you cultivate a sense of inner balance and peace, helping you approach each day with clarity and self-assurance. Setting boundaries around your time is another crucial form of self-care that reinforces self-worth. Time is one of your most valuable resources, and by carefully choosing how you spend it, you demonstrate respect for yourself and your goals. Saying no to activities, requests, or obligations that don't align with your values or priorities is an affirmation of your worth. This boundary setting allows you to protect your energy, giving you more space to engage in activities that fulfill and nurture you. By valuing your time, you create a life that reflects your aspirations, showing that your happiness and well-being come first. Prioritizing physical health as part of your self-care routine is also key to reinforcing self-worth. Regular exercise, a balanced diet, and sufficient sleep are not only essential for your body, but also send a message of self-respect. When you take care of your physical health, you build resilience, energy, and focus, which enhance your ability to pursue your goals and handle challenges. Physical self-care creates a solid foundation that supports every aspect of your life, reminding you that you deserve to feel strong, energized, and capable. This commitment to health reflects a deep respect for your own value, reinforcing your confidence and self-esteem. Self-care also involves setting aside time for personal reflection and growth. Engaging in activities that encourage self-discovery, such as journaling, meditation, or reading, helps you develop a deeper understanding of who you are and what you need. This time for self-reflection strengthens your connection with yourself, allowing you to uncover and nurture your authentic desires, strengths, and values. By dedicating time to personal growth, you affirm that your inner world deserves attention, building a sense of self-worth that is rooted in self-awareness and self-compassion. Building a strong support system is another aspect of self-care that reinforces self-worth. Surrounding yourself with people who encourage, respect, and uplift you creates an environment where you feel valued and supported. These positive relationships act as a mirror, reflecting your worth back to you. By choosing to spend time with people who genuinely care about your well-being, you reinforce your belief in your own value. This supportive network not only boosts your confidence, but also provides strength during challenging times, reminding you that you are not alone in your journey. Cultivating hobbies and passions is also a meaningful form of self-care that reinforces your self-worth. Engaging in activities that bring you joy and fulfillment, whether it's painting, cooking, writing, or hiking, allows you to connect with your inner creativity and passion. These pursuits remind you that you are more than your responsibilities or obligations. You are a person with unique interests and talents. By dedicating time to these passions, you validate your own joy and satisfaction, showing that your happiness is worth nurturing. Practicing self-compassion is another powerful way to reinforce self-worth. Self-compassion involves treating yourself with kindness and understanding, especially when facing mistakes or challenges. Instead of being harsh or critical, you offer yourself the same empathy you would extend to a friend. This compassionate approach builds a strong foundation of self-respect, reminding you that you are worthy of forgiveness and patience. Self-compassion fosters resilience, helping you navigate difficulties with a gentle, supportive mindset and strengthening your belief in your own value. Learning to let go of perfectionism is also essential in self-care and reinforcing self-worth. Perfectionism often leads to constant self-criticism and the feeling that you're never quite enough. By releasing the need for perfection, you embrace yourself as you are, flaws and all. This acceptance allows you to celebrate your progress rather than fixating on perceived shortcomings. Letting go of perfectionism creates a nurturing space where you can grow at your own pace, affirming that your worth is not tied to external standards, but is inherent and unchanging. Practicing gratitude is another self-care habit that reinforces your self-worth. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's missing to what's present, creating a sense of abundance and fulfillment. When you acknowledge and appreciate the positive aspects of your life, you cultivate a mindset of contentment and resilience. This gratitude reinforces the belief that you are deserving of good things, building a foundation of self-worth that is rooted in positivity and appreciation. Gratitude reminds you that your life is rich and meaningful, enhancing your confidence and self-respect. Creating a peaceful environment for yourself is also a vital aspect of self-care that reflects and reinforces self-worth. The spaces you inhabit have a significant impact on your mood and well-being. By organizing, decorating, or personalizing your space in ways that make you feel calm and comfortable, you create an environment that nurtures your peace. This act of curating a supportive space affirms your right to comfort and tranquility, reinforcing the message that you deserve to live in an environment that reflects your worth. Investing in personal development is another form of self-care that strengthens self-worth. Whether it's taking a course, learning a new skill, or seeking mentorship, personal development empowers you to grow and improve. By investing time and resources into your own growth, you affirm that your potential and abilities are worth nurturing. This commitment to self-improvement enhances your self-confidence and opens doors to new opportunities, reinforcing the belief that you are capable of achieving your goals and dreams. Practicing mindful self-affirmation also supports self-worth. Self-affirmations are positive statements that remind you of your strengths, values, and worth. By regularly affirming your own value, You build a positive inner dialogue that reinforces your self-esteem. Self-affirmations help counter negative thoughts, providing a source of encouragement and support that keeps you motivated. This habit of affirming your worth reminds you of your inherent value, helping you face challenges with confidence and grace. Learning to accept help from others is also a form of self-care that strengthens self-worth. Accepting help requires vulnerability and openness, but it also shows that you believe you are deserving of support. When you allow others to assist you, whether emotionally, practically, or professionally, you affirm that your needs are valid and worthy of attention. This openness to receiving help creates a sense of connection and trust, reinforcing the belief that you are not alone and that you deserve to be cared for. Celebrating your achievements, big or small, is another essential aspect of self-care that builds self-worth. Each success, no matter how minor, represents progress and effort. By taking time to acknowledge these achievements, you reinforce your belief in your own capabilities. Celebrating your accomplishments affirms that your efforts are valuable and that you are deserving of recognition. This habit of celebrating success creates a positive cycle of motivation, reminding you that you are capable and worthy of achieving great things. Setting boundaries with compassion strengthens self-worth. When you create boundaries that protect your time, energy, and well-being, you communicate that you respect yourself and expect others to do the same. Boundaries are a powerful form of self-care because they prioritize your needs and reinforce the message that you are not obligated to overextend yourself to please others. By setting boundaries from a place of compassion, you maintain healthy relationships while preserving your own peace. This balance allows you to engage with others from a place of respect and integrity, knowing that you have the right to protect your own well-being. In choosing self-care, you affirm your worth every day. Each act, whether it's prioritizing your physical health, nurturing your emotions, setting boundaries, or cultivating joy, reinforces the belief that you are deserving of respect, care, and happiness. Through self-care, you build a foundation of self-worth that empowers you to set firmer boundaries and demand the respect you deserve. This commitment to self-care is a lifelong journey that deepens your relationship with yourself, helping you live with confidence, peace, and fulfillment. Transitioning from the empowering act of reinforcing self-worth through self-care, we now delve into the profound strength that comes from practicing patience as a tool for building boundaries. Patience, often overlooked, is an unwavering force that helps you maintain your ground, offering resilience against manipulation and resistance against others' whims. In cultivating patience, you establish a steady presence that communicates you won't be easily swayed. This depth of calm and steadiness becomes one of your strongest defenses, allowing you to hold firm in your values and intentions, creating boundaries that others recognize and respect. Patience begins with learning to wait without immediate reaction. When someone pushes against your limits, the instinctive response is often swift, whether defensive, corrective, or even a retreat. However, by practicing patience and allowing a moment of pause, you bring control into the equation. This pause creates space for you to gather perspective, enabling you to choose a response that aligns with your boundaries. Waiting a few seconds or even minutes can significantly impact the interaction, preventing impulsive reactions that might otherwise compromise your limits. This restraint is powerful, showing that you are not easily rattled or moved by others' demands. Patience also communicates self-confidence, signaling to others that you are secure in your stance and do not need immediate validation or resolution. When you're patient, you radiate an inner calm that comes from knowing your boundaries are solid. This sense of self-assurance tells others that you are not dependent on their approval or response to feel complete. By embodying this patience, you reinforce a boundary of self-worth, making it clear that their attempts to challenge you won't alter your stance. Patience, in this way, becomes a silent declaration of your inner strength and confidence. Practicing patience also provides time for clarity. In moments when others test your boundaries, emotions can cloud judgment, making it difficult to discern the best course of action. Patience allows those emotions to settle, revealing a clearer path forward. By not rushing into action, you gain perspective, seeing the situation from a balanced point of view rather than one fueled by immediate feelings. This clarity helps you identify your true priorities, guiding you toward responses that honor your boundaries. Patience, then, becomes a filter, sifting through emotional noise and highlighting the choices that support your integrity. Patience as a boundary-building tool also prevents you from becoming reactive. Reactivity often plays into others' hands, especially if they're looking to provoke or manipulate. By choosing patience, you remove the element of surprise and disrupt the patterns of those who thrive on control. A patient approach keeps you steady, leaving no room for knee-jerk reactions that might validate their efforts to unsettle you. This steadiness shows that your boundaries are intentional and grounded, not open to change based on others' expectations. By refusing to be reactive, you retain full control over your actions, a key aspect of maintaining strong boundaries. Choosing patience also fosters self-respect, as it reflects your commitment to preserving your peace over meeting external pressures. By not giving in to immediate responses, you prioritize your own well-being, showing that your mental and emotional balance come first. This self-respect reinforces your boundaries, demonstrating that your value lies in your own sense of peace, not in others' validation. By practicing patience, you develop a habit of respecting yourself, reinforcing boundaries that are rooted in genuine self-care and inner harmony. Patience also creates an atmosphere of mutual respect in relationships. When you're patient with others, you encourage a balanced, respectful interaction where neither party feels pressured or rushed. This patience allows room for genuine understanding, helping others see that your boundaries are not a reaction, but a thoughtful, intentional stance. By maintaining this calm demeanor, you communicate that boundaries are essential for healthy relationships, inviting others to respond with similar respect. This mutual respect builds trust, making it easier for others to understand and honor your boundaries without feeling threatened or defensive. Using patience as a boundary-building tool also promotes resilience. When you practice patience, you build a tolerance for discomfort, learning to sit with situations that may be tense or uncertain. This resilience strengthens your ability to maintain boundaries under pressure, showing that you can endure without bending. Patience teaches you to withstand emotional ups and downs without compromising your values, creating a steady foundation that others recognize and respect. By building this inner resilience, you become less susceptible to being swayed by others' attempts to push your limits. Another valuable benefit of patience is that it provides time for others to adjust to your boundaries. People may not immediately understand or accept your limits, especially if they're accustomed to different behaviors from you. Patience allows space for them to adapt, giving them the opportunity to come to terms with your new boundaries without feeling rushed. This gradual process can lead to more lasting respect, as others have time to truly understand and appreciate your limits. Patience, in this way, fosters an environment where boundaries are not just imposed, but respected over time. Practicing patience also helps you avoid power struggles, as it allows you to sidestep the need for immediate victory or resolution. Boundaries often lead to moments of tension, where both parties may feel the urge to assert control. Patience removes the need to win these encounters, shifting the focus to a more balanced interaction. By not rushing to prove yourself, You avoid the tug-of-war dynamic, allowing the boundary to stand on its own. This approach shows that your boundaries are not about control or dominance, but about respect and clarity, fostering a healthier dynamic. In moments of conflict, patience also allows you to model behavior that others can learn from. When others see your calm and unshakable approach, it often inspires them to adopt a similar demeanor. This patient example sets a standard for interactions, showing that boundary setting can be done with grace and calm rather than aggression or haste. By demonstrating patience, you influence the tone of your relationships, helping others understand that respectful boundaries lead to stronger, more balanced connections. Practicing patience also cultivates wisdom, as it allows you to consider the long-term impact of your actions rather than focusing on immediate outcomes. When you're patient, you're able to weigh the consequences of each choice, ensuring that your actions align with your larger goals and values. This thoughtful approach enhances your boundary-setting skills, helping you create limits that serve not only the present moment, but also your long-term well-being. Patience, therefore, becomes a tool for making wiser, more deliberate decisions that support your growth and happiness. Incorporating patience into your daily routine also helps you approach challenges with a sense of ease. When you're in the habit of waiting calmly and observing, even difficult situations become more manageable. This patience allows you to maintain composure, reducing stress and anxiety as you face various challenges. By choosing to remain calm, you cultivate an environment where you can handle adversity with grace, showing others that you are not easily moved by temporary obstacles. This consistent calmness reinforces your boundaries, establishing you as someone who is grounded and resilient. Patience also prevents the build-up of resentment, as it encourages you to approach boundary setting from a place of understanding rather than frustration. When you're patient, you allow yourself to address situations with compassion, reducing the likelihood of bitterness or unresolved feelings. This approach helps maintain positive relationships, as others are less likely to feel judged or pressured by your boundaries. By setting boundaries with patience, you foster an environment of openness and empathy, making it easier to maintain strong, healthy connections with others. Patience allows you to trust the natural flow of life, releasing the need for constant control over every interaction. When you trust that your boundaries will stand without immediate reinforcement, you reduce the pressure on yourself to micromanage others' behaviors. This sense of trust creates a peaceful mindset, where you focus on living authentically rather than controlling outcomes. Patience, then, becomes an expression of self-trust, showing that you believe in your ability to handle whatever comes without needing to force or rush the process. In embracing patience as a boundary-building tool, you cultivate a powerful sense of self-assurance. This patient approach not only strengthens your boundaries, but also enhances your relationships, allowing you to navigate life with grace, resilience, and calm. Patience, when practiced consistently, becomes a profound source of strength, reinforcing your boundaries and enriching your journey with peace and wisdom. Building on the strength and resilience cultivated through patience, the ultimate boundary move is knowing when to walk away. Sometimes, the clearest way to assert your worth and protect your peace is by choosing not to engage further. Walking away is not a sign of defeat, but a powerful decision that reinforces that you will not tolerate disrespect. This choice signals that your values and well-being are more important than winning an argument or seeking validation from others. In moments where boundaries are consistently tested, walking away is the definitive act of self-respect, a statement that you choose your peace over confrontation. One of the most significant benefits of walking away is that it allows you to conserve your emotional and mental energy. In situations where someone continuously tests your boundaries, engaging can feel draining and unproductive, often leading to frustration and anxiety. By choosing to leave the situation, you make a deliberate decision to protect your energy. This preservation of emotional resources shows that your peace is a priority, and you won't allow others to exhaust it. This decision reflects a deep respect for yourself, as you recognize that not every battle is worth the toll it takes on your mind and spirit. Walking away also communicates that you have confidence in your own worth and do not need to prove yourself to anyone. When someone is testing your boundaries, they may be looking for a reaction, hoping to make you question your stance or compromise your values. By choosing to disengage, you demonstrate that your self-worth isn't dependent on their approval or validation. This self-assurance is powerful, showing that you know who you are and that their attempts to provoke or belittle you have no impact. Walking away becomes a declaration of inner strength, a statement that you are not defined by others' opinions. Another benefit of choosing to walk away is that it sets a clear standard for how you expect to be treated. When you remain in situations where your boundaries are ignored or dismissed, it can send the message that you are willing to accept disrespect. Walking away, on the other hand, establishes a boundary that is unmistakable. You will not tolerate treatment that undermines your worth. This act of leaving shows others that you expect respect and consideration, setting a powerful example that encourages others to approach you with integrity. Walking away isn't about rejecting others. It's about protecting yourself and reinforcing the standards you've set for your interactions. Walking away can also prevent escalation, allowing you to leave a situation before it becomes more intense or harmful. In moments of conflict or boundary testing, emotions can quickly rise, and conversations can devolve into arguments that leave everyone feeling worse. By choosing to exit calmly, you take control of the situation, removing yourself before it has the chance to spiral. This choice to walk away with composure communicates a sense of dignity and self-restraint, showing that you are committed to maintaining peace rather than contributing to unnecessary conflict. This restraint reflects maturity and wisdom, allowing you to navigate challenges with a sense of grace. Choosing to walk away also reinforces your autonomy and independence. When someone repeatedly pushes against your boundaries, they may be seeking to control or influence your actions. By walking away, you assert that your choices are your own, free from external pressure or manipulation. This act of leaving shows that you hold the power in your interactions and that you are unwilling to compromise your freedom for the sake of appeasing others. Walking away is a powerful reminder that you are in control of your own path, reinforcing your independence and self-determination. Another powerful effect of walking away is that it creates a space for self-reflection. When you leave a situation, you gain the distance needed to process what happened, reflect on your feelings, and decide on your next steps. This time away allows you to assess whether the relationship or interaction aligns with your values and whether it's worth revisiting in the future. Self-reflection enables you to make thoughtful decisions, ensuring that any future interactions are intentional and supportive of your well-being. Walking away thus becomes not just an escape, but an opportunity for growth and clarity. Walking away can also inspire respect from others, as it shows that you are not afraid to stand up for yourself in the most definitive way. This willingness to leave when boundaries are crossed signals that you value yourself highly and will not tolerate behavior that undermines your dignity. Often, this decisive action can encourage others to reflect on their behavior and approach you with more respect in the future. By walking away, you set a precedent, making it clear that respect is non-negotiable. This courage to remove yourself from disrespectful situations reinforces your integrity and establishes a standard that others are likely to remember. Choosing to walk away also builds resilience, as it teaches you to let go of situations that do not serve you. When you repeatedly expose yourself to environments or people who test your boundaries, it can weaken your resolve and create feelings of helplessness. By walking away, you take back control, reminding yourself that you are not obligated to remain in spaces that diminish your self-worth. This resilience helps you face future challenges with greater confidence, knowing that you have the strength to remove yourself from situations that don't support your growth. Walking away becomes a testament to your commitment to yourself, reinforcing a sense of inner strength and stability. Walking away also fosters emotional intelligence, as it encourages you to recognize when a situation is beyond constructive engagement. Emotional intelligence involves knowing when to invest in a relationship and when to let go, understanding that not every interaction will lead to positive outcomes. By walking away, you demonstrate the wisdom to acknowledge that some situations are better left behind. This awareness protects you from unnecessary emotional turmoil, allowing you to focus on relationships and environments that genuinely support your well-being. Walking away thus becomes a choice rooted in emotional clarity, helping you prioritize meaningful connections. The act of walking away can also serve as a catalyst for personal transformation. When you leave behind situations that test or disregard your boundaries, you create space for new opportunities and experiences that align with your values. Walking away signifies a willingness to embrace change, recognizing that growth often requires letting go of what no longer serves you. This decision opens the door to self-discovery, as you learn more about your own needs, values, and aspirations. Walking away becomes an act of self-liberation, allowing you to pursue a life that truly reflects who you are. Walking away also strengthens your commitment to self-care. In situations where boundaries are repeatedly tested, the emotional toll can be immense, leading to stress, anxiety, or even resentment. By choosing to walk away, you prioritize your mental and emotional health, acknowledging that peace is more valuable than enduring toxic interactions. This choice to protect your well-being reinforces the idea that self-care is not selfish, it's essential. Walking away becomes a profound expression of self-care, affirming that you deserve environments and relationships that uplift rather than deplete you. In situations involving persistent boundary testing, walking away also provides a lasting sense of closure. Staying in toxic or challenging environments often leads to unresolved issues and lingering frustration, as boundaries are continually ignored or dismissed. Walking away allows you to close that chapter, freeing you from the cycle of conflict and opening the path to healing. This act of leaving is a final statement, a decision to prioritize your peace over unresolved conflict. Walking away thus offers closure, helping you move forward without the emotional weight of unfinished disputes. Walking away can also inspire others to evaluate their own boundaries and choices. When people witness your decision to leave a situation that no longer aligns with your values, it often encourages them to reflect on their own circumstances. This act of standing up for yourself sets an example, showing others that they too have the power to protect their peace. Walking away, therefore, becomes not just a personal choice, but a message to those around you, demonstrating that self-respect is a powerful and transformative act. Ultimately, walking away reinforces a life lived with intention. By choosing not to remain in situations that compromise your values, you affirm that your path is one of purpose and authenticity. Walking away is a reminder that life is too valuable to be spent in environments that undermine your worth. This commitment to living with intention fosters a sense of fulfillment as you align each decision with your core beliefs. Walking away becomes a profound act of self-empowerment, a declaration that you will not settle for anything less than respect and peace. In mastering the art of walking away, you strengthen every boundary you have set, embodying a deep respect for yourself and your journey. This powerful choice allows you to live with integrity, prioritizing your well-being and protecting your peace. Walking away is a lasting expression of self-respect, an unwavering commitment to a life rooted in authenticity, strength, and inner calm. Building on the strength of knowing when to walk away, the next vital skill is learning to communicate assertively without losing your inner strength. Assertive communication is about expressing your needs and boundaries clearly and respectfully, all while maintaining control of your emotions and reactions. This approach not only ensures that your message is understood, but also demonstrates your self-respect and commitment to your values. By mastering assertive communication, you convey strength, integrity, and confidence, showing others that your boundaries are firm, yet conveyed with calm clarity. A core principle of assertive communication is directness. This means stating your needs, desires, or boundaries in a straightforward manner, without veering into ambiguity. When you communicate directly, you avoid confusion and misunderstandings, which are often at the root of boundary conflicts. Directness allows you to be precise, telling others exactly what you need without leaving room for assumptions. This clarity is empowering, as it reinforces that your boundaries are non-negotiable and are not subject to misinterpretation. When you speak with this level of clarity, you send a strong message that your boundaries are both thoughtful and intentional. Equally important in assertive communication is a calm tone. Tone of voice can heavily influence how your message is received. When you speak calmly, you project control and confidence, showing that you are grounded in your values. A calm tone signals that you are neither defensive nor aggressive, but are speaking from a place of inner assurance. This demeanor makes it clear that your boundaries are firm without inviting conflict. Others are more likely to respond respectfully to a calm tone, as it creates an environment that encourages understanding rather than escalation. Assertive communication also requires you to be mindful of body language. Non-verbal cues such as eye contact, posture, and gestures play a significant role in conveying assertiveness. When you maintain an open posture, hold steady eye contact, and avoid defensive gestures, you project confidence and certainty. This body language reinforces your words, showing that you are fully committed to your message. Assertive body language acts as a silent support to your verbal expression, creating a powerful combination that communicates both clarity and strength. Using I statements is another key technique in assertive communication. Phrasing your boundaries with statements like "I need" or "I feel" keeps the focus on your experience rather than placing blame. This approach prevents others from feeling attacked, reducing defensiveness and promoting a more constructive response. By speaking from your own perspective, you take ownership of your boundaries, showing that they are rooted in self-awareness rather than reaction to others. This use of I statements makes your communication both clear and respectful, ensuring that your needs are expressed without inviting conflict. Choosing assertive language is also essential in maintaining power in communication. Words matter, and selecting language that is both clear and respectful allows you to set boundaries without appearing confrontational. Instead of using words that may sound harsh or absolute, such as "you always" or "you never," which can trigger defensiveness, choose words that communicate your needs in a firm but gentle way. Phrases like "I would appreciate it if" or "it's important for me that" help set boundaries while maintaining respect. This careful choice of words keeps the focus on your needs, reinforcing your boundaries without compromising your tone. Assertiveness also involves knowing when to pause. Pausing before responding allows you to gather your thoughts and respond from a place of calm, even in potentially tense situations. This pause shows that you are thoughtful in your communication, not rushing to defend or retaliate. By giving yourself a moment, you can ensure that your response aligns with your true intentions rather than being a reaction to the moment's emotions. This brief moment of silence before you respond adds weight to your words, giving your communication a deliberate and grounded quality. Establishing consistency in your communication also reinforces assertive boundaries. When you communicate your needs consistently, others come to understand that your boundaries are not flexible or situational, but are an integral part of who you are. Consistency removes ambiguity, preventing others from testing your limits. By consistently asserting your boundaries, you demonstrate that they are based on enduring values rather than temporary emotions. This steadiness builds trust, showing others that they can rely on you to communicate clearly and directly in all situations. Setting boundaries assertively also involves being prepared for potential pushback. Not everyone will accept your boundaries immediately, and some may challenge them. When this happens, staying calm and reaffirming your boundary without escalating the situation is essential. This calm persistence shows that you are unshaken by others' reactions, reinforcing that your boundaries are not up for debate. By anticipating resistance and maintaining your stance, you demonstrate a level of self-respect that others cannot easily undermine. This resilience further strengthens your assertive communication, showing that you value your peace over immediate approval. Assertive communication also includes the ability to say no firmly and kindly. Many people struggle with saying no, often out of fear of disappointing others or seeming uncooperative. However, saying no when necessary is an act of self-respect that strengthens your boundaries. When you say no with clarity and kindness, you convey that your boundaries are more important than temporary discomfort. This refusal doesn't have to be harsh. It can be expressed in a way that acknowledges others' needs while still honoring your own. A well-placed no is a powerful tool in assertive communication, setting a clear line without compromising compassion. Listening actively is another key aspect of assertive communication. When you communicate boundaries, showing that you're willing to listen to the other person's perspective creates a balanced dialogue. Active listening demonstrates respect, signaling that you are open to understanding their view while remaining firm in your own needs. This balanced approach fosters mutual respect, as it encourages others to listen to you as well. Active listening shows that assertiveness is not about dominance, but about creating a respectful exchange, reinforcing the message that you value both your boundaries and the relationship. Assertive communication also means letting go of the need for immediate resolution. Some situations may take time to resolve, and trying to force an outcome can compromise your power in the conversation. By allowing the situation to unfold naturally, you maintain control over your own reactions rather than pushing for a specific response from others. This patience shows that you are secure in your boundary setting, allowing others the time to process your needs without feeling pressured. This patience reinforces the strength of your communication, showing that you are confident in your stance and unhurried in seeking validation. Incorporating empathy into assertive communication can also enhance its effectiveness. Empathy doesn't mean compromising your boundaries. It means recognizing the other person's feelings and perspective without sacrificing your own needs. By expressing empathy, you create an environment where boundaries are discussed with care rather than confrontation. This compassionate approach allows for a more open dialogue, encouraging others to respect your boundaries willingly rather than feeling forced to comply. Empathy in communication reinforces your boundaries by showing that they are rooted in respect for both yourself and others. Using assertive communication also involves focusing on the outcome you desire rather than the immediate reaction of others. When you communicate with the long-term goal in mind, it becomes easier to stay calm and composed, even if others initially resist. By keeping your focus on the outcome, whether it's a healthier relationship, a more peaceful work environment, or personal well-being, you reinforce your commitment to your boundaries. This future-oriented perspective gives you the patience to navigate any challenges, knowing that each step you take supports your larger goals. Another powerful aspect of assertive communication is maintaining self-respect throughout the interaction. When you speak from a place of self-respect, it's evident in your words, tone, and demeanor. This respect for yourself conveys that you won't compromise your boundaries, no matter the circumstances. By remaining true to your values, you reinforce the idea that your boundaries are not about control, but about honoring your self-worth. Self-respect becomes the foundation of assertive communication, making it clear that you will communicate your needs without undermining your principles. In mastering assertive communication, you create a powerful balance of strength and respect, ensuring that your boundaries are both clear and compassionate. Assertiveness is not about dominating others, but about expressing yourself with honesty, clarity, and respect. Each time you communicate assertively, you reinforce your self-worth and set a precedent for healthy interactions. This approach empowers you to handle any situation with grace, knowing that your boundaries are respected and upheld. Assertive communication allows you to live authentically, expressing your needs without diminishing others or compromising your integrity. This strength in communication becomes a valuable tool in building relationships, managing conflicts, and achieving your goals, all while preserving your inner power and peace. As we move from the empowering stance of assertive communication, the next step is perhaps the most transformative of all, turning your focus inward. Concentrating on yourself is not about ignoring the world, but about realigning with your core values, personal goals, and inner peace. In Stoicism, this commitment to self-focus is key to a life of resilience and fulfillment. By focusing on your inner world, you cultivate strength, clarity, and a sense of purpose that no external influence can shake. This approach allows you to build a life that reflects your values, empowering you to shape your reality with intention and confidence. One of the first aspects of concentrating on yourself is learning to define what truly matters to you. Many people go through life chasing goals and expectations set by others, whether family, society, or even friends. By shifting focus to your own values and desires, you begin the process of understanding who you are and what you want. This self-knowledge becomes the foundation upon which you can build a fulfilling life. Defining what matters helps you to filter out distractions and external pressures, allowing you to concentrate on goals that bring genuine satisfaction rather than fleeting approval. Focusing on your own growth also allows you to let go of comparison. When you concentrate on yourself, you stop measuring your progress against others' lives and achievements. Comparison often leads to feelings of inadequacy and envy, pulling you away from your own journey. By focusing solely on your path, you eliminate the distractions of others' successes or failures, freeing yourself to make progress at your own pace. This shift fosters a sense of inner peace and self-confidence, as you come to see that your worth is not tied to others' accomplishments. Concentrating on yourself provides the clarity to recognize that your journey is unique and worthy of respect, regardless of outside perceptions. Another key benefit of focusing on yourself is that it builds resilience. When you are rooted in self-awareness, You develop the strength to face challenges without becoming overwhelmed. Life's obstacles no longer seem as daunting when you understand your own capacity to grow, adapt, and overcome. This resilience is not about denying struggles, but about finding the courage within to face them. Concentrating on your inner strength and abilities helps you to navigate hardships with a calm and determined mindset, knowing that each challenge contributes to your growth. Embracing solitude is also a powerful way to deepen self-focus. Time spent alone offers a unique opportunity to reflect, recharge, and connect with your innermost thoughts and feelings. Solitude becomes a space where you can silence external influences and truly listen to yourself. This quiet time fosters creativity, introspection, and clarity, allowing you to explore aspects of yourself that might otherwise go unnoticed in the noise of daily life. In solitude, you find a sense of wholeness that reminds you that fulfillment comes from within, not from external validation. Practicing mindfulness is another valuable tool in the journey of self-concentration. Mindfulness encourages you to remain present, fully engaged with each moment, rather than being caught up in worries about the future or regrets about the past. By focusing on the present, you connect deeply with your own experience, developing a stronger sense of self-awareness. Mindfulness teaches you to observe your thoughts and emotions without judgment, helping you to understand yourself on a profound level. This practice creates a solid foundation for self-growth, as it fosters acceptance and compassion toward yourself. Focusing on personal goals rather than societal expectations further empowers you to create a life aligned with your true desires. Many people pursue careers, relationships, or lifestyles based on what they think they should do rather than what they genuinely want. By redirecting your energy toward goals that reflect your values, you create a path that feels authentic and fulfilling. Pursuing personal goals gives you a sense of purpose and direction, keeping you motivated and engaged. Concentrating on what truly resonates with you becomes a source of strength, allowing you to move forward with confidence and clarity. In concentrating on yourself, cultivating a growth mindset is essential. A growth mindset views challenges and setbacks as opportunities for learning and improvement rather than as failures. This perspective encourages you to embrace mistakes and uncertainties as part of the journey, fostering resilience and adaptability. A growth mindset helps you approach each experience as a chance to develop new skills, expand your knowledge, and deepen your understanding of yourself. This dedication to personal growth reinforces your commitment to self-focus, as it reminds you that you have the power to shape your life through continuous learning. Focusing on self-care also becomes an act of self-respect and empowerment. Taking care of your physical, emotional, and mental health shows that you value yourself and are committed to your well-being. Self-care is not indulgence. It's the foundation of a balanced, fulfilling life. By prioritizing activities that nourish your body and mind, you reinforce your commitment to yourself, creating a stable base from which you can pursue your goals. Self-care practices remind you that you are worthy of kindness, patience, and attention, all of which fuel your journey of self-growth. Gratitude is another powerful component of concentrating on yourself. Practicing gratitude shifts your focus from what's lacking to what's present, creating a mindset of abundance and fulfillment. By appreciating what you already have, you reduce the desire for constant external validation, as you come to see that your life is already rich and meaningful. Gratitude fosters a sense of contentment that strengthens your inner peace, reinforcing the idea that fulfillment comes from within. This gratitude-centered perspective empowers you to focus on your own happiness, regardless of external circumstances. Learning to say no is also a vital skill in concentrating on yourself. Saying no allows you to protect your time, energy, and resources, ensuring that they are directed toward your own growth and well-being. Many people struggle with saying no, often out of fear of disappointing others or appearing unkind. However, learning to say no with confidence is an act of self-respect that reinforces your boundaries. It shows that you are committed to prioritizing yourself and your goals, even if it means disappointing others. This ability to say no is empowering, as it enables you to create a life that aligns with your values. Practicing acceptance is also central to focusing on yourself. Acceptance means embracing both your strengths and weaknesses, understanding that growth is a journey that involves imperfections. By accepting yourself fully, you create a foundation of self-love that supports your efforts to change and improve. This acceptance prevents you from being overly self-critical, allowing you to approach challenges with patience and compassion. When you concentrate on acceptance, you build resilience and confidence, as you know that your worth is not contingent on perfection, but on your commitment to growth. Developing a sense of purpose is also fundamental in concentrating on yourself. Purpose gives your life direction, providing motivation and meaning that extend beyond day-to-day tasks. By identifying what truly inspires you, you gain a clear sense of why you are pursuing certain goals. This purpose-driven mindset keeps you grounded, as you know that your actions are aligned with a higher vision. Concentrating on your purpose allows you to navigate life with focus, knowing that your efforts contribute to a meaningful and fulfilling journey. Building healthy relationships that support your growth is another important aspect of focusing on yourself. Surrounding yourself with people who respect, encourage, and uplift you creates an environment that fosters self-improvement. These supportive relationships act as a source of motivation, reminding you that you are not alone in your journey. By cultivating connections that align with your values, you create a network that enhances your self-focus rather than detracting from it. Healthy relationships provide strength, allowing you to concentrate on your growth with the encouragement of those who genuinely care. Practicing patience with yourself is also crucial in concentrating on personal change. Change is a gradual process, and expecting immediate results can lead to frustration and self-doubt. By being patient with yourself, you acknowledge that growth takes time and effort, allowing you to move forward at your own pace. Patience fosters a sense of peace, as it reminds you that progress, no matter how slow, is still progress. This mindset of patience reinforces your commitment to self-focus, as it teaches you to appreciate each step of your journey. As you focus on yourself, cultivating discipline becomes essential. Discipline enables you to stay committed to your goals, even when motivation wanes or distractions arise. By developing daily habits that support your growth, you create a structured approach to self-improvement. Discipline reinforces your dedication to your values, as it reminds you that true change requires consistent effort. This commitment to discipline empowers you to move forward steadily, building a life that reflects your aspirations and intentions. In concentrating on yourself, you develop a profound sense of self-awareness that guides every decision you make. This awareness allows you to navigate life with confidence and clarity, knowing that your actions are aligned with your values. Self-focus is not isolation. It's a dedication to understanding and nurturing who you are at your core. By concentrating on yourself, you build a life of fulfillment, purpose, and inner strength, grounded in a commitment to your own growth and well-being. Transitioning from the empowering practice of focusing on oneself, the next step toward a more fulfilling life is learning what to let go. In the spirit of Stoicism, some things don't serve our growth or peace. They drain our energy and cloud our clarity. Silently eliminating unnecessary habits, thoughts, or influences from your life clears space for inner peace and resilience. This approach isn't about cutting ties harshly. It's about thoughtfully creating a life that aligns with your values and goals. Releasing these things will leave you with more room to focus on what truly matters, making each day feel lighter and more purposeful. The first thing to consider eliminating is negative self-talk. Self-criticism might feel like a motivator, but it often holds us back by filling our minds with doubt and fear. By silencing negative self-talk, you create a space for positive, constructive thinking. Shifting your internal dialogue allows you to see challenges as opportunities rather than threats. The practice of letting go of self-criticism helps you approach life with confidence, nurturing a mindset that's ready to grow instead of holding back. Letting go of the need for constant validation is also essential. In a world that often pressures us to seek approval from others, learning to find worth within is liberating. Seeking external validation can become exhausting, leaving us feeling unfulfilled. When you eliminate this need, you begin to trust your own judgment and values. You recognize that true self-worth comes from living authentically, not from others' opinions. Releasing this habit brings you closer to a life of genuine self-respect. Removing toxic relationships from your life is another significant step. Relationships should uplift, inspire, and support your growth. If you find yourself constantly drained or undervalued, it might be time to step back. Letting go of toxic relationships doesn't mean holding grudges. It means creating boundaries that protect your peace. Surrounding yourself with positive, supportive people enables you to thrive and find more joy in everyday interactions. Eliminating procrastination is another way to create a life of purpose. Procrastination might offer temporary relief, but it often leads to stress and a sense of unfulfillment. When you let go of this habit, you open doors to achievement and progress. Developing a habit of action, even in small steps, builds momentum and self-trust. Each completed task adds to a sense of accomplishment, freeing you from the weight of delay. Releasing grudges and resentment is a powerful act of self-liberation. Holding on to anger toward others keeps you stuck in the past, affecting your present peace and future potential. Letting go of resentment allows you to move forward without emotional baggage. By forgiving, you release yourself from the grip of past hurts, creating space for joy and gratitude. This choice is not about excusing behavior, but about freeing yourself from the control of negative emotions. Letting go of the fear of failure is crucial for growth. Fear of failure often prevents us from taking meaningful risks and pursuing our dreams. When you silence this fear, you begin to see setbacks as valuable lessons rather than threats. This mindset shift encourages you to embrace challenges with resilience and curiosity. Embracing failure as part of growth allows you to step into new opportunities with courage, knowing that every experience adds to your journey. Eliminating excess material possessions is another Stoic principle that leads to greater peace. Holding on to unnecessary belongings can create physical and mental clutter, making it difficult to find focus. By simplifying your surroundings, you create an environment that supports clarity and calm. Releasing material attachments reminds you that your value isn't tied to things, but to your experiences, relationships, and inner qualities. Silencing the impulse to gossip is a subtle yet impactful change. Gossip often distracts us from our own lives, pulling us into judgment and negativity. Choosing to avoid gossip fosters an environment of respect and positivity. When you focus on speaking kindly, you cultivate a reputation of integrity and trust. This habit shift enhances your relationships and brings peace to your interactions, reinforcing a mindset that values understanding over judgment. Letting go of the habit of overworking is essential for a balanced life. Constantly pushing yourself to the point of burnout leaves little room for joy and creativity. When you release the need to overwork, you allow yourself time to rest, recharge, and reconnect with what brings you happiness. This balance makes you more productive in the long run as you approach work with renewed energy and purpose rather than exhaustion. Releasing the habit of overthinking is also freeing. Overthinking keeps you trapped in endless loops of doubt, often leading to anxiety and indecision. Letting go of this habit allows you to trust your instincts and make decisions more confidently. Accepting that not everything requires exhaustive analysis opens up mental space for clarity and calm, empowering you to take action without fear of making mistakes. Silencing the need to control others is another Stoic practice that brings freedom. Attempting to control people or situations creates tension and often leads to disappointment. By letting go of this habit, you learn to accept that others have their own paths and choices. This release of control fosters patience and understanding, allowing you to focus on what you can influence, your own actions and responses. This approach brings peace to your relationships as you embrace others' autonomy without trying to change them. Removing self-imposed limitations is a powerful way to unlock your potential. Often, we hold ourselves back by believing we're not capable or worthy of certain achievements. Letting go of these limiting beliefs allows you to pursue goals with confidence. By challenging these self-imposed restrictions, you create opportunities for growth and success. This change in mindset reinforces that your capabilities are defined by effort and determination, not by perceived boundaries. Eliminating distractions from your life creates more time and focus for what truly matters. Distractions, whether digital or environmental, can fragment your attention and prevent you from making meaningful progress. By reducing these distractions, you reclaim control over your time and energy. Focusing on purposeful activities allows you to engage deeply, bringing a sense of fulfillment and achievement to each day. Letting go of regret is another step toward a lighter life. Regret ties you to past choices, making it difficult to embrace the present. When you release regret, you forgive yourself and allow yourself to learn from your experiences. This choice to let go of regret brings freedom, helping you to move forward without the weight of past mistakes. Embracing each day as a fresh start brings renewed optimism and openness to new possibilities. Removing the pressure to always say yes is essential for honoring your own needs. Constantly agreeing to others' requests can leave you feeling depleted and resentful. Learning to say no when necessary protects your energy and allows you to focus on what aligns with your values. This shift empowers you to make choices that support your well-being, fostering a life that reflects your true priorities. Each of these choices, whether it's releasing regret, letting go of material possessions, or setting boundaries, creates more space for peace, growth, and fulfillment. By silently eliminating these influences from your life, you make room for a more intentional and joyful existence, one guided by purpose and inner strength. Building on the ability to reclaim control over your life, one of the most insidious tactics you may encounter is gaslighting, when someone subtly distorts your reality, making you question your own thoughts, feelings, or perceptions. Gaslighting can erode your confidence, distort your sense of self, and leave you feeling vulnerable and unsure. Recognizing gaslighting is crucial to preserving your mental clarity and emotional stability. With the right tools, you can respond to gaslighting with assertive clarity, reinforcing your sense of self and ensuring that you remain grounded in your own reality, no matter the tactics others may employ. One of the first indicators of gaslighting is the consistent dismissal of your feelings or experiences. Gaslighters often use phrases like, "You're overreacting," or "You're being too sensitive," which subtly imply that your emotional responses are invalid or exaggerated. By recognizing this pattern, you remind yourself that your feelings are valid and meaningful. Rather than questioning your reactions, you can acknowledge them with clarity, reinforcing that your emotions are real and legitimate. When you give yourself permission to feel without self-doubt, you take a powerful step in countering the effects of gaslighting. Another tactic gaslighters use is to make you doubt your memory. They might say, "That's not how it happened," or "You're remembering it wrong." Over time, this repeated questioning of your memory can make you feel uncertain about events you were once sure of. Recognizing this technique allows you to protect your sense of memory and perspective. Keeping a record of important events, conversations, or decisions can be an effective way to stay grounded. By having tangible reminders of your experiences, you can maintain a strong connection to your reality, providing a reference point when someone tries to distort the past. Gaslighters also tend to project their own faults onto you, blaming you for things that they themselves are doing. This deflection technique can make you feel responsible for issues that are not actually within your control. When you recognize projection, you can separate their behavior from your own self-image, reinforcing that you are not responsible for others' actions or shortcomings. This clarity helps you to avoid taking on misplaced guilt, strengthening your boundaries and reinforcing that you will not allow someone else's issues to redefine your sense of self. Subtle or blatant lies are another tool gaslighters use to distort reality. They might deny things that happened, make up facts, or tell half-truths to keep you feeling uncertain. Recognizing lies as a part of gaslighting helps you maintain your inner clarity as you learn to trust your own observations. Instead of getting caught in a web of deception, focusing on your own truth helps you resist their distortions. By keeping the focus on your direct experience and not getting sidetracked by falsehoods, you establish a mental boundary that prevents lies from affecting your perception. Gaslighters frequently attempt to isolate you, subtly discouraging you from seeking outside perspectives by implying that others wouldn't understand or don't care. This tactic is meant to make you feel dependent on them, removing the support of friends or family who might offer a different viewpoint. Recognizing this isolation tactic empowers you to seek trusted perspectives. Connecting with people you trust, discussing your experiences, and gaining external validation helps keep you grounded. By resisting isolation, you protect your mental clarity, reaffirming that your perceptions are real and that you're not alone in facing these challenges. Another hallmark of gaslighting is the constant shifting of blame. Gaslighters avoid taking responsibility by twisting situations to make it seem like you are at fault, regardless of the circumstances. This relentless blame shifting can erode your confidence, making you question your own decisions. Recognizing this tactic allows you to hold on to your self-assurance, knowing that you are not solely responsible for every issue. By refusing to accept undue blame, you reinforce your own boundaries and maintain a balanced view of shared responsibility. Gaslighters also frequently use subtle put-downs disguised as jokes or teasing, which they later dismiss as just kidding if you react. These hidden criticisms chip away at your self-esteem, making you second-guess your worth or abilities. Recognizing this behavior allows you to assertively address it, making it clear that such comments are not acceptable. By calmly acknowledging how these remarks affect you, you take a stand for your self-respect, demonstrating that you will not allow passive criticism to undermine your confidence. Another tactic is the use of selective memory, where a gaslighter conveniently forgets things they previously agreed to or committed to, leaving you feeling confused or as though you're asking for too much. Recognizing selective memory as part of gaslighting helps you stay clear about your expectations. Keeping a record of important agreements can serve as a reference point, ensuring that you have a concrete basis for your boundaries. This approach prevents selective memory from clouding your judgment, reinforcing that your needs and boundaries are consistent and valid. Minimization, or downplaying your concerns, is another form of gaslighting that subtly makes you feel as though your issues are trivial. Gaslighters might say, "It's not that big of a deal," or "You're making this into something it's not." Recognizing minimization as a tactic helps you stay confident in the importance of your concerns. By trusting your own perspective, you refuse to let others downplay what matters to you. This resilience keeps you grounded in your own reality, reinforcing